went into with no experience in television whatsoever, and made a tremendous number of mistakes for the first year. I mean, still make mistakes every year, but I think, but hopefully learning as we go and improving things. But we just didn't have any production experience, so we came in kind of knowing how we wanted to write it, but not knowing anything about the casting process, the editing process, working with visual effects, working with a production designer, all that stuff that you need to know. And it's been a steep learning curve.
They would get behind a project and they would give it a solid commitment.
We'd never produced anything for television before. We'd never produced anything for film or internet or anything. We'd written before, but we never produced. So when we went to George, it was probably like that bluff where you mistakenly think you have a straight and you actually don't. But we were so confident that I think we convinced George that, well, these guys seem like they really know what they're doing.
I said, I want it done. I want a faithful adaptation of the books. And they said, that's what we want to do.
Hello and welcome everybody to our remarkable Republican stream. This will be a first for the channel, which is it is an auspicious occasion indeed. But first, we need to bring in our equally auspicious guests. StreamYard is being a little bit slow on me. Thankfully, I should be getting a computer sometime soon. But first, the co-host for the day, please welcome the Wise Wolf.
Isaiah. Didn't I tell you never to set foot in Ikebukuro again? You remember that, Isaiah, don't ya?
Kill.
Indeed.
By the way, that's actually one of his quotes.
Yeah. Interesting. Cool. Well.
Yeah, I really like that anime.
Alrighty. And also, Johan will bring it before White Dragon, just because.
Hey, what do you want to do tonight?
The same thing we do every night, Pinky. Try to take over the world.
Oh man, I can't wait for this to get into my nerves.
I should be released. I'll edit up the commentary too that we did last night. So hopefully it'll be there. But anyway, welcome to White Dragon.
Do you guys know what it's like to watch yourself die over and over again?
Well, technically,
I once upon a time actually dreamt I walked into the kitchen and the oven exploded, and I was caught in a big burst of flames.
Well, this man walked in, and I stepped him 20 times in the chest, and that's why he's dead now, apparently.
I did have a strange dream last night that I was a teenager, and for some reason me and a lady were walking in, like kind of almost like we were trying to defeat these group of vampire hunters. Then we walk in on relatively young red-eyed James Earl Jones vampire.
Jones?
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Is this supposed to be a reference to something?
No, it's not a reference. That was the dream I woke up from last night.
Oh, interesting.
I had a dream that I was flying, minding my own business, and suddenly an ice shovel just came and fucking killed me.
So
I don't know.
I constantly think of situations where I die. So,
Yeah.
Well, if you have fire near me, then will I explode, apparently.
Probably. Yeah, bright red-eyed James Earl Jones, and I think it was a wife. I think he was wearing a wife beater or something.
Wife beater?
Darth Vader had red glasses holes in New Hope. So, maybe that's your inspiration for your dream.
Maybe.
What?
I do know one thing though. Dad, despite every collective reasoning for not be here, we're still here.
Damn.
I must say, I watched The Long Night myself, and I was disappointed. It was like, oh my god, they're beating someone up. How is a sword used as a baseball bat? Explain that to me. They're like, yeah, take that. And it's like, you have this tiny little sword they're using like a baseball bat. Like, hey, yeah. And then, somebody gets down and they're just getting hit by the shoulder pad, and then immense bleeding comes out of it. It's like, what? How is a metal shoulder pad bleed? I have no idea.
I don't know either.
Look who it is. It is the Rhaenyra simp.
Yes, that's right. And who might you be? Yeah.
A non-Rhaenyra simp. That would be me.
Yeah. Well, Dragon Vance heard that what we heard what White Dragon, Becca, and Wolf said, and so he decided to put it in a meme. And I promised I would show it at some point on the podcast, and so I did.
Dragon Vance, if you're watching, you are a simp for Rhaenyra. You are an utter simp. I don't think I've ever met a simp before, but then I had to meet you. You, oh my good sir, are
Wait,
simp.
There are two of them now?
Oh, this is getting out of hand.
Yes.
See, Mr. Dragon, I have had a fallout with House Targaryen ever since.
He's not a bad guy. He's not a bad guy. No, we're just teasing him. We love him. We like his channel. For me at least, I would have not have got on the D&D hate train as hard as I have without him. So,
and we have actually had him on our channel before.
We have. We really like him. We're teasing him that he likes Rhaenyra blindly. We're just
making him a simp.
Well, I think that's fantastic.
Yeah. Well, it is indeed fantastic.
Done.
All we need is the.
Done.
All we need is the.
Done. I had this noose with silver teeth sticking out of it. I want you to use it and find a fan right quick.
By the way, Mr. Dragon Demands, I am gonna go and get a time machine and kill Rhaenyra, and I'm gonna make her a part of my undead army. How do you feel about that?
No, because it's impossible to simp for Natalie Dormer, because Natalie Dormer is a 10 out of 10 easily.
And we all know time travel is impossible thanks to Bran 9000.
Yeah.
So I'll kill him and have him travel through time.
He tried
to
do his magic in the Long Night, but he kind of forgot that he was using words. Even. He was just watching. He was like, "Come on, get to me already! I'm wasting my popcorn here, man. Come on, get to me!" And then it's like, "Oh, psych, you're here."
He has to go. He has to get.
Okay, people. We'll get to that soon. But
oh my god!
We need a projectionist. We need a projectionist.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay, send me. Where is this video at?
Look up Remarkable Republican Battle of Winterfell.
General, didn't I have that in the general chat on your thingy?
Might have.
Hangout Hall, because I know you posted it here. No, it was correct. That was the video you posted.
This might be funny. So
it's funny how you don't use a dragon to light the trenches when you are sitting there on the on the wall and be like, oh well, there is a trench behind me, but the people are like, light the trenches. We are needing people to light the trenches. It's like you have a big giant dragon that just can be like, whoosh.
Oh man, I wonder what fried simp tastes like.
So this might be funny. Emilia Clarke might be replacing Amber Heard on Aquaman 2.
Oh, really? They're really gonna do it? Nice.
I don't know. Like a lot of people are saying, please have her replace it. And it would be really, really funny because it would be a reuniting of Khal Drogo and Daenerys.
Oh, I'd never even thought of it that way. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Okay, remarkable Republican blurb.
Yeah.
When is it?
So keep in mind that this guy is a troll. He doesn't really believe most of this, I think.
Tywin is an apex homosexual, according to this guy.
And apparently Joker went nuts and...
Okay, which one is it?
The Battle of Winterfell.
Okay, there we go.
Ah, yes.
Season 8, Battle of Winterfell. Share screen. Yes, I know. Chrome tab. Better with share audio.
Alrighty. Oh, this is gonna be
ready,
fun.
kids?
You excited for hard?
Captain.
You ready for hardcore memery?
Oh boy!
Yeah.
So this is the Battle of Winterfell? Ah, yes. I forgot about that.
3, 2, 1.
Remarkable Republican.
Oh fuck!
Ah, no sound. Ah.
Signing in.
Ah, there you go.
Bringing you the truth with truth-flavored bias.
Oh no.
Today we're taking a look at Game of Thrones Season 8, Battle of Winterfell.
Okay, pause. His voice already makes me want to jump out the window.
Well, at least he's not Jonathan McIntosh. At least he's not Jonathan McIntosh. Jonathan McIntosh's voice is way worse.
Here, Wolf, let me remove the wooden pole, keeping the window from being opened. All right.
Yeah.
And here you go.
Fool, the window's up for me. It's for you.
Also, we do have another guest.
Shriek with fear, the Count is here.
God damn it, you and your fucking budget destroying flames.
Alrighty, let's keep. Let's.
Hey,
yeah,
I killed White again.
Here we go.
Yeah, let's.
Arguably the most important event in the entire Game of Thrones universe, even though technically it is something of a side quest from the actual Game of Thrones. Decided later it comes in.
Well,
however,
okay, hold on. What the fuck?
Side quest. You did it, people. We did a completed side quest. Nice.
Wow, the whole White Walker storyline is just a side quest. That the opening scene for the entire show, yeah, that was just for a side quest. Nothing more than that.
So you mean those NPCs you murdered? You know, they were all unnecessary mobs.
Yeah.
Just give me the money already. I want my loot.
It is something of a side quest.
Oh God, he did say that. Fuck me. Fuck you. Fuck.
Well,
You ready?
It turned out to be a side quest.
The whole plot of Game of Thrones was a giant side quest.
Well, pretty much.
Well, you know, we kind of forgot about the real quest.
Wait,
at hand,
I thought he was saying that the White Walker storyline was just a side quest.
Yes, he said that.
Okay, yes, I heard you right.
From the actual Game of Thrones, which was decided later.
Fuck you. Fuck you, cunt. Fuck.
Well, he's not right when you look at the episode. It was like a side quest. It was like 1 hour, and then the side quest was complete. So I guess.
And then nobody mentions it again. And then nobody mentions it.
It's like it doesn't even fucking exist anymore. It's like,
all these millions of people that died. They don't care. They just like, oh yeah, let's bury them and burn them alive, and then bye.
Well, they weren't even dead. Some of them, the Dothraki weren't even dead anymore. So
apparently they respawned.
So I mean,
they respawned from the
I told you it was an RPG.
They kind of forgot they were dead.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, let's keep going.
However, This battle has been the subject of some controversy as
I wonder why.
critics who think that they understand medieval realism have tried to critique the way that the battle was fought, or have critiqued the way that the story was told in this battle. What I'll prove in this video is,
How much is there?
that the critics have absolutely no idea what they're talking about.
Wait, the critics have absolutely no idea what they're talking about?
I guess we thinking that trebuchets should be in the in behind the walls. It's
wait.
I'm
Wait,
just
it
wrong.
gets even better, White Dragon. They they shout cease fire, alright? After the enemy is closing in, they still cease fire.
Yeah.
Well,
So they don't even fire. After
This
a volley, they said cease fire, and then 5 minutes later, the trebuchets are dead.
Well, there's a good reason why there's a controversy, which is that we can't see what's going on. It's a controversy. What is actually happening?
Then throw rocks at it. I don't give a shit. It's a zombie horde. You will hit something, like they did with Lord of the Rings. They just throw rocks at them, and apparently sometimes they are a hit. They hit giant pieces of meat and people, whatever. Rocks are very efficient at hitting stuff.
Well, you see, you're wrong because this guy's obviously the actual expert. You're just some wrong critic.
He's gonna talk about that. Just wait. He's gonna talk about that.
Of course, he's the expert. He's done a PowerPoint. Hasn't any of you done a PowerPoint on it?
Oh my
No?
god!
Oh my god, he has a PowerPoint.
Look at his name. Look at his name. He's the remarkable Republican, so you know who he's talking about.
I thought he was a Democrat.
And this battle was actually performed.
Hold on, wait, what did he say?
Have absolutely no idea what they're talking about. And this battle was actually performed brilliantly. And
It was brilliant. I just couldn't see it. We just couldn't see it. That's all.
Yeah, we just couldn't see the brilliance because it was too fucking dark.
I had my lights off, and I could not see jack shit sometimes.
The funny thing is, like, all the Night King had to do was just strafe Winterfell one time in the Godswood, and this whole fucking episode will be over in 5 seconds.
He would just have, if he had raised his army already once, the Dothraki army was dead, he would be like, come at me, bro. I have no horses.
He doesn't need an army.
Yeah.
He just needs me and just fucking go to the freaking Godswood, and that's it. Game over.
Like you did with the wall. So why didn't you?
Well, he kind of forgot.
Shut the fuck up.
No, I keep repeating this. I kept repeating this during the commentary. He's bawling, so he wants to show off his dribbling skills.
He got balls of steel.
This is the perfect blend of medieval realism with fantasy with storytelling.
Right.
Yeah, because it's fantasy, so we can just throw all logic out the fucking window. Apparently, fantasy means unrealistic.
Have you seen the zombies attack? They were like really smart at one point, and then they were really dumb at the other point, and then they were really smart at the other point, and then they were dumb
it's
at the other
fantasy. It makes sense. Jeez.
Yeah.
Hyper intelligent zombies somehow, and then they're stupid. Like.
What place is in sense?
Yeah.
My brain hurts. Okay, let's continue.
Yeah, that's
again. And first, I'll begin by admitting that there are a couple of very minor faults.
Minor. All right. Cool.
Tell
me.
Let's find out what these minor faults are, shall we?
I guess they are.
Most of the.
Okay. So he says this. When we was with dragons and zombies, at least.
When they should try reading a book.
reading a book? Well,
John, I stopped reading right at the experts part. Blend medieval realism with dragons and zombies. It's movies. It's fucking. It's movies intended for children with space wizards and magic and fucking dumb shit.
Oh, but it gets
can't
better.
have intelligent writing because there's dragons and zombies. Didn't you know?
It gets better. The way that the battle is shot does not give us a solid understanding of the size of the battlefield, blah, blah, blah. Well, yes. It doesn't give us a solid understanding of much of anything.
The only cinematic sin that was committed is the Battle of Winterfell was more epic than the Battle of King's
Well, to be fair, he's not wrong.
He's not...
Because Battle of King's Landing was just a bore fest because the whole fucking point of the show was killed off in the episode before.
I thought you were going to say a horrifying abortion, but that works too.
Well, it looked beautiful though, the Battle of King's Landing.
I was so fucking bored when I first saw that. There was no tension. There was nothing like.
Well, have you seen the Battle of Winterfell? The tension is not there. It's just, people staring in the dark, and then suddenly they charge. Not even with a, charge, man. No, they're just gonna be charging like, oh, fire, ah! And be like orcs going like, me, go smashing some butt.
I like how they were gonna run in. They were just gonna run blindly without Melisandre.
Yes, they were literally running blindly into the black smoke, and they died.
It was going to be worse because they were going to do that already before their Erics were on fire. Like, that was just a coincidence.
Yeah.
Yeah, little accidents can happen.
Lucky break.
Yeah,
give them a break already. They had already the need to respawn.
Winterfell are flaws with what Dan and Dave did as showrunners, but rather flaws in the understanding of warfare.
Tell me, fuck.
No. Just no. Somebody has a headache.
So Benioff is an expert in warfare now.
Wait.
And I am the president of the United fucking States.
Well, I guess we know all where this is going. Well, let's go back to the finish, pressing the button.
Right into the fucking toilet. That's where it's going. It's going to the.
Well, I played a lot of medieval combat games, and I guess I'm now a medieval expert.
Well, no, you're not, because you're not Remarkable Republican. He's a literal fucking genius, and look at you little fucking shit.
Yeah, my thoughts exactly. It's going to get really bad because we're also going to do Shad's debate, which is going to take a lot shorter than this. Just as a palate cleanser, because Shad utterly wipes the floor with this guy.
Let's get this shit over.
Well, that happens when you put logic into a troll. They normally die of it.
Space joke. Well, at least we know that they're experts at international terrorism.
I am not evil. How many times I have to say that?
Is there a word for mental terrorism? Because this is what this guy is to my head.
Yeah, he is, especially in a debate about medieval realism versus a guy who really doesn't have any knowledge of history.
Their flaws in the understanding of warfare by the supposed expert critics like the EFAP boys.
The EFAP boys. Oh, that went real well, didn't it?
What really sets me off is that these morons are not bothered by the mix of medieval combat with dragons and zombies, but rather with details that they claim to understand and don't.
Okay, I like to hear this.
We'll go through
How is that?
Everybody be quiet. I want to hear this. So that's one of the
a lot of their fallacies throughout the course of this video, but suffice to say for now that some people are going to get embarrassed.
And it's nobody but you.
Yep, it's nobody but you.
The way that the battle is shot, this is a real flaw in the way this is portrayed. Doesn't give us a solid understanding of the real size of the battlefield, especially the distance between the indoor, outdoor, and tree areas. All three areas saw combat, and clearly they're not super close together since Winterfell is a big castle. But without enough establishing shots of the precise distances, it's hard to tell exactly.
I wonder why they don't like to do a lot of aerial shots, because maybe they're too busy filming the actors' faces.
It's hard.
Well, oh my god, this guy's in danger, and we're cutting it out. Oh my god, this guy's in danger. Oh, we're gonna cut the other guy.
John, didn't you know these performances, these faces?
Yeah, come on.
We didn't.
Exactly how far flung these battles.
It is not for sure, but here's the thing. Mr. Remarkable Republican is claiming that it is in line with medieval realism. He's going to bring in real-world history from the Middle Ages to try and prove his argument.
That will be interesting. I have a degree in medieval history. We'll see how accurate that is.
One of the critiques I heard from the EFAP guys was that Jorah could not have closed the distance to where Daenerys was at one point in the battle.
He's gonna be like, well, you see, he's wrong because you see, in this medieval time, they had teleporters, so fuck you.
We don't really know what the distance was, so I actually can't refute that objection that they made.
So why you bring it up?
I have no idea.
The only real cinematic flaw in terms of planning out a series as a whole is that the Battle of Winterfell was more epic than the Battle of King's Landing. Now,
no disagreements there. There was far more tension in the Battle of Winterfell than there was at King's Landing. Because the King's Landing, you're just like, why isn't she dead? Why isn't she dead? Why isn't she dead?
Yeah. Let's keep going. Let's keep going.
Now, the Battle of King's Landing was almost completely in line with medieval realism, so it deserves.
Almost completely in line.
What are you even talking about?
Well, if you're going by the books, I guess the Scorpions are more accurate in episode 5 than they were in episode 4. To some degree.
You have these auto-aim Scorpions, and they can shoot dragons out of the sky with one shot. So yeah, I guess they were a little bit too overpowered. Those legendary Scorpions they got out of the loot boxes.
Well, episode 4 they were, but in episode 5 they weren't anymore.
Yeah, they got a little nerf. We told the devs about it, and
there were still rail guns.
That happens in an RPG game. The devs know about this, and they said like, no, we cannot have this anymore. People are abusing this power up right there, so no, we cannot have it.
Yeah. There were still rail guns, but they didn't have their auto aim ability. That was the only thing that was keeping them from winning.
Yeah, and the turn rate was nerfed.
And the dice, you can't always count on the dice.
Yeah, rolling those critical ones.
We're gonna back that up. All right. Shush.
With medieval realism, so it deserves a lot of credit. But the Battle of Winterfell was epic on a level not seen since Lord of the Rings, and because this was
fuck you. No, it wasn't.
What?
You worthless piece of shit. Holy fuck. No. Lord of the Rings is fucking god tier, you absolute fucking melon.
Well, technically, Lord of the Rings was more tactical than the whole damn Battle of Winterfell in one game.
Fucking guy's mental capacity is in a fucking wet stock.
Those orcs were fucking smart. They used the battling ram with big giant ogres to destroy the gate. Come on, that's fucking epic.
What's
tactics? Well, that's the thing when you use your brain smartness to be outsmarting the enemy.
Remember in the Return of the King in Two Towers when the Uruk-hai actually used spear formations to block to attempt to block the
cavalry.
The cavalry. But then they ended up failing.
Epic. Yeah, because they were blinded by the light. That's fucking awesome.
And also, like, it's perfect plan because usually pikes against cavalry, pikes win every time.
Yeah, because horses cannot take a lot of damage.
And the horses are like, I don't want to get stabbed, so I'm gonna not do that.
They don't want
something from the chat. Shan Thor, but is it better? Well, I can see things. I'll give Jackson that.
Yeah.
He's not wrong there.
Nope.
No, he's not.
He's not wrong there.
All right, let's go.
Made in 2019, and with all of the lessons of previous epic battles, the Battle of Winterfell, I think, is without a doubt the most epic battle ever recorded.
Okay, this guy's blind. It's official. It's like you could cut to him. He's actually blind, so he actually thinks it's the best battle because he can't actually see anything.
There are so much better battles than this one.
Oh my god, I hear swords clinging, so it must be great.
Yeah, let's
let's kind of on cinema or on the silver screen, and that is not even debatable. To start with the first objection that EFAP made, and I will refer to them by Rag's name because I accidentally referred to Rags as a fury rather than a furry.
Rags is a fury.
Wait, is he a furry fury?
I could have sworn it's more of like an in-character joke, kind of like what I do, kind of like a little in-character thing.
Yeah, it is he's not an actual furry as far as I'm aware.
The reason we do these things is because it's fun to be in character. That's why we do it. It's acting, you fucking dimwit.
It's what?
You ever heard of acting before?
No.
This is
that is
offending.
Yeah, let's keep going.
I'm learning so much this
not sure how
I mean, do you call Harrison Ford a furry because he was in the fucking Pets 2 movie? Because he was a dog? He was acting as a dog? Is he a furry now?
Wow. Yeah, good point. Let's keep going.
Scaly? The difference actually is.
He's a dog in Pets 2.
What? Harrison Ford is a dog in Pets 2. Oh my goodness, that's terrible.
But I have heard him make comments as if he were somehow knowledgeable about military affairs, even though his primary activities are making videos on the internet and dressing up like a dog.
Where do you get this from? What the fuck? Get dressing up as a dog? Like what? Where do you get that from? I must have missed that. Am I just dressing up as a dragon now too? Is that how that works?
How is that? That meme must be old.
Tag
Holy
someone
shit.
who sucks at Call of Duty.
Yeah,
how's that relevant?
Yeah,
I don't
how is that
know.
relevant? I have no idea.
Only shows kills shots. Only what? I don't get it. Okay, let's get it.
But we'll refer to him as Field Marshal Rags out of respect for the military authority that he feels that he deserves. Anyway,
little fun fact: a field marshal is a very high rank. Generals listen to field marshals.
You know, because they're smart.
I guess
That's
so.
your opinion.
Yeah, being called a field marshal, I see a pretty high honor. That's the most senior rank of an officer.
Yeah.
Claim
So
that
we do have another person.
Oh,
coming.
wow.
I just need to. We've got a full house today.
Oh boy.
Wow, not even aces? Damn, you suck at poker.
I do. Quite a bit. But that's just me.
Let's go.
I need to find this clip.
I should grab some water.
Yeah, I should probably do that.
Be right back. I'll be back.
Let's just go with this.
Stupid.
You know, my relaxation game right now is Kodar 2, so I don't mind that.
You had to pick a really shitty time to join us.
Welcome, new chap, whoever the... Let's see. Oh, welcome.
All right, are we ready? Oh.
So what is it that I missed?
Apparently it was all in context of medieval realism and was totally made sense.
What?
I did.
Well, and the Battle of Winterfell was the more epic than the Battle of King's Landing, and it was the greatest thing since Lord of the Rings.
Okay, so here's my quick notes on that. Front-facing cavalry charges.
Trebuchets on the front lines.
Siege weapons in front of castle walls.
No, in front of everyone. Reminder: the cavalry is first, and then the trebuchets.
But that dwarf was very tactical.
People in front of castle walls for some reason, which honestly that could make sense with regards to the enemy they're facing, but still.
Don't forget using spears in front of the trench instead of behind it.
Yes.
The dwarf was
so
very
stupid.
tactical.
Not able to use a dragon that's standing on a fucking wall to light up the trench. Ooh.
That's a really complicated stupidity because, yes, it would make sense that you don't leave the dragon exposed considering that the Night King has shown
He
the
was
ability
sitting
to...
on the wall doing nothing for almost 2 minutes. and everybody was shouting, "Light the bloody damn trench!" You could have just, said, "Turn your head and burn that trench," because he was literally sitting there with his tail on the trench.
Like everybody else was
like
trying
I
to.
said, complex stupidity.
He was on his break. He was on his break.
Yeah, apparently.
Oh yes, he was like fucking John Cage, Willy's Wonderland. It was that guy. It was.
I have no idea
Yeah,
what
that
that is. Let's keep going. Let's keep going.
He was on his break, so he couldn't do anything.
The show is not consistent on whether armor matters or his buddy Mauler claim that the show is not consistent on whether armor matters or is effective.
Oh, that's true. That's so fucking true.
That is very true. Armor.
Okay, everybody, calm down, calm down. I want to hear what he says next. David, talk.
But here's a news flash, boys. You guys don't seem to understand metallurgy at all. Armor is not itself consistent on whether armor matters or is effective.
What the fuck does that even mean?
I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt and say that he's talking about the armor versus the weapons of the time. So if he were to be smart, I would say he's going to talk about samurai or late medieval swords and how they could not pierce the armor of the time.
Yeah, because no sword can pierce those fucking steel plate. You cannot.
But sometimes it can, and sometimes it can't.
The funny thing is,
steel cannot pierce steel.
It can. It depends on the shape and the armor and the
All
way
right.
it was hardened.
So, Sir Jordan was actually attacked by one of the zombies wielding, this iron sword, and then he gets hit from his plate armor in the front. He gets totally pierced through it by a simple sword. That's not possible.
The sword would break.
Having not been here for the past hour, I'm also going to argue that armor consistency is really stupid because the armor has been very inconsistent and went from really intelligent armor design to like people like Jorah and Brienne wearing stupid leather bullshit. Like they had really nice, fancy like armor that like actually looked practical to stupid like fantasy armor that you'd see in like a low budget TV movie.
The funny thing is, Jordan actually gets hit on one of his shoulder pads, and then suddenly the shoulder pads bleeds and he falls down.
Yeah, me and Den commented on that. He laughed at
that. Was so funny. It's like, oh no, you're bleeding. Your shoulder pad is bleeding, my friend.
It's like a fucking video game.
No?
Why do you have shoulder pads, my guy?
I have no idea. Apparently there is some blood left around.
It's
stupid.
Like video games. When you strike someone with a sword in a video game, they splatter blood, even though they're wearing plate armor. It's really stupid.
Yeah, let's just keep going. We're half an hour in.
The reason for that is
we're only 4 minutes in. Yeah, let's keep going.
Kill shots are still possible even with armor if you hit at the right angle and with enough thrust.
Yeah,
but that wasn't the right angle.
It was the wrong angle. And the wrong angle with the wrong force.
Oh, so if you hit the right angle, then it can bleed. But then again, you also hit on the spot that is best at absorbing a blow.
Okay, comment in the chat.
How you want to make a tin can bleed? Use a bloody damn, I don't know, a big giant club with big giant iron spikes on it. Something like that. Something that can do bashing instead of
or magical bullshit.
Yeah, magic works. Magic swords could definitely kill someone.
Yeah.
In terms of angling these kill shots, the thing is, when you wear armor, you're slower, so you're a little more liable to them.
Barely.
Narratively.
Yeah. This is the level of argumentation.
Wait, since when does armor slow you down if you're using leather armor?
Yes, that's true, but also even with full plate, which should weigh about 60 pounds?
Full plate is actually very mobile.
Yes, it barely feels like anything. I mean, like if you're gonna jog in it, I can tell you personally, jogging with extra weight.
You know what is very heavy? Chainmail. That is actually quite heavy.
But moving your arms and like swinging a sword feels like it's nothing. It's like not even in consideration.
It's like he learned
big
all
giant
of his
bases are heavy for usable. They are exhausting, but
it's like he learned all of his medieval warfare logic from fucking video games and movie where armor weighs like a bazillion pounds.
Now, I don't want to. Now I'm new to this argument. I don't want to like shit on him because I don't really know his.
Oh, I'm gonna shit on him. I don't give a fuck.
Well,
even if he's wrong, I don't want to shit on him because that's just the kind of.
The funny thing is, I actually
have
played
all the
video
stuff
I
taken
actually
out.
played
One
video
at a
games.
time.
Sorry.
Yes.
Cool.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Don. Thank you.
Sorry.
Okay. Let's continue.
Simply speaking, it's not that Game of Thrones is inaccurate or is ignoring armor. Game of Thrones is a bloodbath, and they like to show the danger inherent in battle. If they showed a lot of blows bouncing off of armor, which would be hyper realistic, then that would slow the show down, as we've discussed.
Adhering to the logic you previously established would slow the plot down.
Well, technically, the plot was. Technically, the zombies were actually really powerful from the get-go, and then, every time a hero is in danger, they cut to another hero being in danger. It's so stupid.
I really don't see how the primary mode of defense wasn't, okay, first of all, fire. Second of all, just getting like a little bit of Dragonstone on a stick and forming a shield wall. It's like, shield walls are so friggin' effective. I mean, against like a horde that's that relentless, I can see how it would be tough, but form a porcupine, my guys.
Building better.
The funny thing
it
is,
was a literal tidal wave.
But often wise aren't thinking about
yes,
these
but they
things.
explode in the presence of Dragonstone.
Mm-hmm.
The funny thing is, actually, they put Dragonstone on the shields rather than on the spears.
I'm sorry, what?
Why?
There was actually Dragonstone on one of the little sides of the shield, and not on the spears. In most of the guys with the slave guys who wear, the shields and spears. It's quite funny to see, like, oh yeah, you have this black little part on your shield that is covered with, spikes, and then, that's not even pointing forward. It's actually pointing sideways to the elbow. So it's away from, the enemy. It's not even for bashing, like, with your fist.
Right.
With shield in hand.
So if you have a limited amount of some resource and a limited amount of time to utilize it, why would one not use it in the most efficient way possible? Like, just like...
on your stick.
Putting a little bit on the tip of a stick, poke them, and they explode.
Have you seen how many... They had so much arrows made out of that. And you know how many times they fired? None. When they were standing still.
Arrows.
Yeah.
I don't know. They felt like they needed to use arrows, and also the whole damn trench was full of those Dragonstone spikes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the trenches of the Dragonstone spikes actually seem like kind of a decent idea.
Yeah, but then you realize that also the whole army has all the swords in Dragonstone. They also had all the arrows in Dragonstone. And it's like, wait, was it not a rare resource?
Not on Dragonstone, where it's a literal volcano, but yeah.
Yeah, they don't know or care about these things.
Yeah.
They don't know or care about any of this stuff.
All right,
let's
get back on.
Let's keep going.
80s compressed. There's no time for that shit. So what they show are the times when people deliver their thrust consistently and in the right spots. And we have to remember all of these people have been getting better and better and better at fighting with swords as the Game of Thrones has worn on. They all have a lot of war experience now. So the casualty rates are going to go up over time as people get better at fighting.
No.
And this whole idea of not really understanding kill shots.
I know.
The inconsistency is not with the armor, it's with Rag's military IQ.
All right, let's keep going.
Despite being a field marshal, he's the kind of person who plays Call of Duty and doesn't understand why it's insane that you can get kill shots by hitting somebody in the...
Now, I can actually kind of see a point he's making here, because he's talking about how stupid the combat has been up until this point. He's like, well, it's not inconsistent with how dumb the combat has been. Everyone does pair off with swords for some reason instead of forming shield walls up until season 7, where they actually form one decent shield wall. So he's like, oh, well, everyone in Game of Thrones is just stupid and doesn't understand combat.
Well,
now,
That's
while that's consistent with the rest of the show, it doesn't excuse more
bad
stupidity.
Yeah, it gets really dumb, but we should
Like, I
probably
mean,
we should
when's
probably
the-
keep going.
Like,
It's
when's
gonna
the
get
first
worse,
time
but
you saw
that's-
them use spears effectively in Game of Thrones? It's really dumb. The combat has always been the weakest part.
Spears would be actually the first and best weapon you could ever give somebody to use, but alright. Apparently
Let's
axes
go.
are better.
Shush.
Whatever
Silence
is
is
cool
important.
is better. Whatever looks cool is better.
I can understand why it's
All right, let's go.
insane that you can get kill shots by hitting somebody in the leg enough times, when in reality, you cannot kill somebody by shooting them in the leg.
Actually,
How?
okay. I'm gonna be the guy who says, well, actually, yes, there are several. The feral armory is one of these, but there are multiple vital points are called human body. If you know where to hit, then literally anything can be fatal. So even a shot to the leg can be fatal.
Yeah,
If
have
it's
you
not
ever heard of the
Even
inner
shot to the face
thigh?
can be non-lethal.
Have you ever even heard of the thing known as the inner thigh? Like, people in ancient Greeks aimed specifically for the inner thigh because it wasn't often covered by the shield, because you have a giant iron artery right in your leg, at that point in your leg, and you can easily die from getting
Well, yes, that is true, but my understanding of Greek combat is mostly that they formed shield walls and attempted to poke through the hoplite armor.
Yeah, they did. They did, but like that was a place that they could aim for.
Yes.
The funny thing is actually you can actually die of shock when somebody uses a crossbow and shoot at your leg. You won't stand up. You will die of shock.
Yes, femoral artery is a real place to attack.
Yeah, the crossbow impact is very scary. If you see it in shot in ballistic shell, in the ballistic shell, you can actually see the whole shockwave going in there, and you see what kind of impact that has.
Well, see, the problem is with the crossbow bolts in ballistic shell is that it looks really nasty, but a crossbow bolt is a subsonic round, so all it's going to do as far as damage to the tissue is whatever it does on its impact. Like any rupturing, any like temporary cavity is really not going to cause much damage because it's a subsonic round.
Yes,
So,
but you shoot it into the leg and the person never stands up again.
I don't think that's true.
No?
All right, guys, we're getting off topic.
All right.
Let's
Well,
go
let's
some more.
Debate later.
Let's keep moving.
That's just not a thing. Regardless of what Call of Duty tells you, it just doesn't work that way in real life.
No, actually, it kind of does.
What?
It
People
kind of
don't
does.
drop money when they die?
Well, excluding the part where you get your Viking
deployment.
Well,
well.
Okay. First off, two things. Well, it's kind of accurate with Call of Duty. I mean, you can survive a headshot to the head, which isn't really possible. Because most of the time, a shot to the head's more likely to kill you than it will.
We don't need to talk about Call of Duty in this. This is
Come on,
not
guys, keep
relevant.
Well,
going.
the thing he was trying to say, I think, is that it just doesn't drop you instantly. Like, you don't get hit in the knee and just die immediately. Like, I think that's what he's trying to say.
Yeah.
It was
Come
no.
on, guys, keep going. We haven't been stupid yet.
Okay. First off, no. Okay, I'm gonna go off. Okay, I'm gonna read this off from all 40s. No. Well, on the second one, kind of, but not really. No and no.
No, I missed it. What I tried to go back and look at it, but what did you say
Catapults
exactly
don't need
about
a line of sight.
regardless
How
of
do
what Call of
catapults
Duty?
need-
Okay, so Danny and John correctly position their catapult by standards of warfare. No, you put the catapults in the back. But why would you bring catapults so you could bring the superior siege weapon known as a trebuchet?
Well,
Dragons,
technically,
I remember.
well, technically, catapults are easier to aim with and are used for more clusterfucks than a trebuchet. Trebuchet takes a long time to, set up, and a catapult can actually be easier to use and then retreat backwards into the castle.
Yeah, there we go. But catapults are more short range compared to the trebuchets. Long.
Well, they were
range.
engaging in short ranges. Now,
Yeah.
the real question is why would you use a siege weapon against standing armies, individual shaped armies, human shaped armies.
You would, well, it's a horde. So if you're going to be using anything that'll do as much damage, you'll use a siege weapon.
I say the time you spent concocting a working catapult could have been spent digging more trenches.
I think they brought the catapults with them.
Yeah, let's just keep going. Let's keep going.
This criticism.
Okay, also catapults
doesn't matter.
Okay.
But
doesn't matter.
A lot of people complained about the way that Danny and John chose to position their catapults. They said that their catapults are too far forward. However, if you understand anything about medieval warfare, what you know is that Danny and John correctly positioned their catapults by the standards of warfare in that period. Catapults require direct line of sight to aim. This is in a time when they didn't have periscopes.
You're aiming at a horde.
To look and see where the enemy was. So they needed to be able to see what they were shooting at.
Yes.
But they didn't know what they were shooting at because it was fucking pitch black.
That's why you should keep firing with those missiles to give an estimate on how big the size of zombies it was.
Yes. Got
Or
your
just checked catapults and trebuchets.
Yep. Let's go.
Also, catapults don't necessarily have as much range as you might think by looking at them. Their main purpose is actually battering walls rather than troops, but in this case, they're being used as field artillery.
Right, but a good catapult with properly waxed thread can fire up to 600-700 meters.
Yeah, true.
So
but
if you put them
in a
behind
close
the walls of Winter...
in a close quarter, in a close quarter. Come on. In a close quarter, when you have. In a close quarter, when you have a lots of enemy units in the front, actually a catapult could work really well because this rock can be launched over the head of your allies and then hit the units behind it. And well, there is a big giant mass of zombies, so yeah, you should actually use it while being engaged with the enemy as well.
Honestly, yeah, having them behind the line, firing as the horde crashed upon them would be pretty smart. You'd get a couple volleys off, but honestly, the time it takes to make those trebuchets and catapults would be better spent digging more trenches.
That's true. That's true.
That's just
I
your
agree. I agree with that completely. Let's keep going.
Phil, with Winterfell being a big castle, you're going to need to angle the shots up a lot, and you run a big risk of hitting your own guys. And you'll also only be able to go off one volley before people get there. Clearly, Danny and John were estimating based on whatever scouting
they fire once and don't do it again.
Technically, they were ordered to hold fire, and never was an order given to.
Well, it makes sense because they wrote it that way. Essentially, is what.
No, I don't think I actually heard them say "hold, cease your." I don't think I actually heard them say. No, I don't think I ever heard them say "ceasefire." They just stopped firing.
No, they actually said it in the subtitles. When you put the subtitles on, it says "ceasefire."
Oh wow!
I
might not have heard that because of the audio mixing was not very good. That's a possibility.
But yeah, I saw it
in life. The audio, the visual mixing was also fucking terrible.
Maybe they were throwing them, we just couldn't see it.
Because I put the Dutch subtitles on and I saw cease firing. Alright. That explains why the catapults are no longer firing.
Is that from
when are they going to use it again then? Nope.
Nothing explains anything.
They had that the Night King would arrive during the day. And had he arrived during the day...
What? He's the Night King! How is the Night King not attacking at night? Come on.
What is wrong with you?
Work with me.
Let's keep going. This is
the catapults would have been much more clearly well done. But as it is, people assume that it was incompetence that the Night King happened to arrive at night. But again, the scouting that they had was not perfect in the Middle Ages. And all of these people were trained to fight during the day against other humans who fight during the day.
No,
night battles
an excusable error on their part if it's an error.
Less commonly, but
what it does is add to the realism of having to fight against some force you don't really understand, some supernatural force. So it also is effective at building the tension.
No, it's not.
What?
And again, this was based on faulty intelligence, perhaps, if they underestimated the amount of time that it would take the
No.
Night King to get there.
No.
But
No,
it was
they-
a reasonable
Then
course
what
of
was
action
the
based on
point
how
of going
catapults
beyond the
actually-
wall?
So what we were watching was medieval realism last night.
Oh,
I guess
damn,
it
I
was.
missed that part.
You kind of forgot.
Damn.
The funny thing is, actually, he's saying like, well, they had terrible intel. John saw the fucking Night King doing his shit. He knew that zombies would be coming back alive. He knew that.
So did Sam, so did Daenerys, so
Yes.
did...
Why did they not remove the damn bodies in the in their own graveyards?
You know, when I was flying in on the Night King with the Night King, I was wondering why is everybody so stupid? Like the Winterfell defenses were retarded.
We need to let them bring it up. Let him bring it up. He's going to get stupid. Just wait.
Oh, yes! That's what we want.
Boy, this is going to be fun.
I don't know if I'd say stupid. I think he's just wrong.
We're going to go for yes,
stupid.
We're here for stupid. We want stupid.
We need stupid.
I'm pulling out all
Now
the
to talk
stuff.
about one that I know that Mahler brought up, the Dothraki charge. The Dothraki had their torches lit by the red-headed lady, and then they charged ahead of the rest of the army to intercept the incoming army of the undead. Now, a lot of people criticize this, including Mahler, by saying it was stupid to do that, or to separate from the rest of the army, or to charge out in the dark, etc. But you have to keep the context in mind, and also you have to know how cavalry actually fight. First of all, the circumstances are not ideal. As I mentioned, the army of the undead arrived at night. So they had to adapt their tactics accordingly. They lit the torches. That
As was
their way
expected.
Okay, hold on a fucking second. So they have to adapt their tactics. What adapting? They just ran blindly into the fucking void and died.
They got orc charge. They did like
adapt their
They
tactics
expected
to
them to
dying
talk
quicker.
to come at night.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
did.
they want a parlay, I guess you can say.
Also, you know that the Night King is gonna resurrect all the fallen enemies. Why the fuck did you charge
still the
with your
correct
cavalry
move, though.
without seeing the enemy's army?
Because if you understand how cavalry fight,
Honestly,
you understand.
Can I get a
that there's
pause one time for a quick point?
Yeah. Go for it.
So, honestly, the most intelligent way they could have done this was the way the Russians dealt with the. I mean, it would have been really great because we already have a historical example of this. The way the Russians dealt with the Germans, they were constantly having aggressive retreats where they damaged bridges.
Okay.
They took out as many as they could while taking as few as possible. So why don't we just have them actually do that? Because you have dragons, you have Dragonstone, you can build up more shit as you retreat. That seems fine to me.
Once the infantry is getting problems with the zombie horde, you could actually let them charge in and then let them relieve the infantry for a bit and then move back out. That's indeed a very smart tactic.
Okay, we've got a big. Okay, we're gonna have to be. I'm gonna have to put like a minute long. Each person has a minute to talk, and then another person has to take it because we have a lot of people here. And
done.
Yeah.
Way to go, Dunshot.
A lot of people want to talk about Game of Thrones, and we actually have one more person who wants to come in.
Good God.
My old enemy. You cannot hide from me.
You know what Dunn's like? He's like, you know what? You know how to make this even worse? By just putting more people on.
Yeah.
Thanks, everyone. How shit
Shut up,
is
howdy,
this
buddy.
storm?
Welcome,
This
yes.
is terrible.
It's pretty bad.
Let's all yell at once right now.
Okay. Each person gets about a minute to talk, and then that person has to play hot potato with somebody else. Deal?
All right.
Sure.
they have to have momentum, and they also need mobility, because you have to build up the momentum in the tip of your spear from your horse running.
They didn't have
when you hit
spears.
something to get the kill shot. And the idea is that they would hit with enough shock force that even though they're running into a wall of dudes who are lined up deep, you'd be able to knock them back with the hit of your spear and then right away, and just harry them over and over with repeated
so
attacks.
dumb.
And
So
by the
they
way, even though a few
So they should do that So they should do that with their aurochs, with their scimitars.
Apparently, yes.
That's what they had. They had scimitars. So far as I could see, anyway.
How does that work?
Dumb.
How does that work? How do you charge with a scimitar like a spear? Yeah.
This is why I say this guy is retarded, because I'm sure he watched this episode. They don't have spears.
Yeah, they didn't. And also, like, let's keep going.
Application for many people seems to have been.
Oh, that last point is so dumb.
Oh, which one?
The Dothraki had no armor, and they're not experts in infantry combat. They've been whooping infantry for most of their culture.
That's just your opinion, you dumb
Well,
vampire.
I
Wow.
can see, like, maybe, like, because all we really see of the expertise of Dothraki is from, like, blood riders and, like the cream of the crop. So I don't know if what he's saying is correct. Haven't read the books. But, yes, basically all we've seen is either high-level infantry, or just not blood riders, just, like, cavalry fucking people up for days.
Oh, the fighting expert's having a fucking stroke right now, I bet.
Yeah, he probably is. Yes.
Fucking cavalry is one of the most successful units to rout an enemy army with. If you hit them
We
from
are
the side.
continuing the video in
Yeah,
5,
let's keep
4,
going.
3, 0.
That they must have been wiped out. The truth is that we don't really know if that happened or if a lot of the Dothraki broke off and then kept swirling around and hitting them in the back.
No.
Part of the battlefield,
You actually do know that because they show the fires being extinguished as they are killed.
Yep.
And then somehow they got respawned.
Because
maybe they did rout. Maybe they're just all cowards and they ran away.
But they would not be able to rout because the zombies are faster than a horse.
Well, it was too dark. The zombies.
Wait. What do you mean they're faster than a horse?
They could even outrun a fucking dragon lifting off.
Oh, fuck, that's true.
Look, that was a different episode or a different.
Yeah,
it was exactly the same episode.
It's a different timeline. It was a different episode.
It was early in the episode.
It was the moment where you were getting shanked. Don't you remember, Blarion? Jeez.
Every episode is a different timeline.
We kind of forgot.
Yeah, you kind of forgot you got shanked. Okay, let's go.
On would have been encrusted in darkness, so we don't really know. And there would be nothing. There were no reason to show the Dothraki again, narratively speaking, because none of the Dothraki are actual characters at this point in the show.
Nobody's a character in the show anymore.
I guess sacrifices have to be made.
No.
Yeah, I guess they're just a sacrifice. Fucking. I don't want to comment. I don't feel like wasting my breath.
Dude, houses can be characters. Fuck off, dude. Like, good writers know how to handle the elements they put into their narrative.
Yes.
I'm sorry I'm being mean, but I only have a minute.
Yeah, let's keep going. Maybe I'll up it to 2 minutes. Let's just up it to 2 minutes, maybe.
The Dothraki, furthermore, have no armor to slug it out while they're stationary, and they are not experts at infantry combat. In this way, and with the other stuff I've said.
Yeah. Dothraki are horse archers.
It's literally a tradition in their weddings to, like, fight and try to kill each other over fucking women.
Yeah.
No shit, they know how to fight. That's a thing in their culture that they casually do.
What, fighting? Dothraki?
Yes!
Next to be telling them
you're
to
right.
divide.
Well, they kind of forgot.
Indeed.
What was that? The first or second episode?
You're comparing Dothraki to samurai? What?
No, not
What?
samurai.
Okay,
Okay,
back
cool,
up.
back
Back
up.
up.
All right, everybody be quiet. We're just going to let this play for like another 2 minutes.
This way, and with the other stuff I've said before, I'm comparing the Dothraki to the samurai.
No fucking shit.
Oh,
No fucking shit. You fucking absolute fucking melon.
It's literally the opposite. They're the Mongols.
Yeah.
The Mongols or the Tyranids would be better than the fucking Japanese.
I don't know if Timurids. Way closer to Mongols.
Yeah, true. Mongols are better.
Mongols.
No, the Timurids were. Anyway, whatever.
Okay. Oh, so we're on the Dothraki chart now.
Yeah. This guy he's something else.
He's comparing the Dothraki to a samurai.
I'm sorry, what?
Excuse me, what?
Let's move on.
He's
They didn't
comparing
have torches.
Dothraki.
Can I interrupt again just to defend him? I honestly think I think he's I don't even know how to describe it. I don't think his ideas are all bad. I think he's just not putting them together properly.
Well, doesn't mean his video is still absolutely shit.
Yeah. I don't want to say mean things like that. I think he's working on his ability to put together ideas like this. He's a beginner.
I am all the mean.
We've all been there at some point where we have bad ideas.
Well, he's actually admitted that he's a troll. Like, he doesn't believe. Like, somebody found him.
Why am I defending him?
That's what a troll would say.
Welcome to the club, boyo. All right, let's
Well,
continue.
at least he's never gonna give you up. He's never gonna let you down.
You better be hiding behind a small rock before I get there, or else you're gonna feel it. You're gonna really feel it.
Now, he's trying to be better. He was trying to give this guy the benefit of the doubt. It's just that this guy doesn't support him at all. Like, so this guy has made the admission that he has a degree in economics, warfare, and other things.
I don't believe him.
He made the claim in his first video about this that's 9 minutes long that he has a degree and has actually studied warfare and military tactics.
What's his degree in?
Actually, I kind of do believe him because any school that would teach that shit is probably not super credible.
Well, it is, the bomb
department within a school.
What is his degree in?
Let me find that
making
video.
Bombs,
and
of course.
Let me find it and talk about it.
He majored in business and minored in history.
Now, while Dunn is finding that, I would just like to point out that the image that he's showing for comparing samurai to the Dothraki charge is in no way similar to the imagery of the Dothraki. The armor is different. The flag banner carrying is different. The way they mount their horses are different. The horses they use are different. The terrain on which they fight is different.
Well, they
use are different.
They're using spears. The Dothraki don't use spears.
That's all to me. I mean, I don't know anything about the tactics, and that I understand that.
This image is the least convincing image you could use to compare the Dothraki to samurai. They're even wearing helmets.
Okay, so he has a business background and he's lived experience of people in the world. He's got a college degree from Vanderbilt University. He's
pretty good.
In what?
I think it's majored in business, minored in history. He's got a wide range of interests, including warfare, politics, and science, and economics.
There's nothing wrong with any of that. That honestly pretty closely describes me, except I'm computer science.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is, he should know better if he's saying all. I guess maybe he's just bad at putting things together. He might be, but he said
so. He said he's a troll. Under what
Like,
context did he say he was a troll?
I think that he got. I think that somebody noticed him like on a completely different channel that said that where he said like somebody found him and realized, oh, are you a Remarkable Republican? It's like, yeah, the channel I was in is kind of a troll channel just for me, for funsies.
Well, is that this channel or a different channel?
I think it was a different channel that I think they just recognized that it was, I think it was like I don't know what it was. I just know that like it's been discovered, like it was discovered that, like he hasn't put in a video in 3 months. I think that just somebody in the EFAP community realized, oh wait, this guy's a Remarkable Republican, and he's stating almost exactly the difference between like almost like antithetical views to what he's saying in this video. Also, he thinks that King Arthur and Atlantis were real, and says it in one of his videos. So it's just like, yeah, this guy's a troll.
So what's the?
Well, it is debatable when Arthur was real.
Yeah, Arthur might be real.
Yeah, like
No. Arthur might not be. It's not real.
The mythical
there are elements that are real. It's kind of like William Wallace. No one knows what elements are real. Anyway, my point about this specific guy is he might be trolling, he might not be. But the fact that he has a history of trolling kind of dampens the whether or not I believe that he believes such silly opinions.
Yeah. Kind of because, like, especially like when he said like the mythical King Arthur was real. It's like,
does he really?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, yes, anime.
That's got to be a troll, right? Is this Poe's law? Like,
he also says Atlantis was real, and it's saying that it was real. Aquaman proves King Arthur and the king that proves that King Arthur and Atlantis were real.
Well, Atlantis also in
that has to be
really getting off topic here.
Okay,
one person at a time, please.
Okay, that has to be a lie of logic only a troll can come up with.
There's also Joker apparently went nuts because of his bisexualism, because he was attracted to Murray Franklin and Thomas
You're pronouncing it wrong. It's Murray.
So is this the equivalent of School of Movies?
Is this what?
The right-wing equivalent of School of Movies, the Republican equivalent of School of Movies.
Pretty much, yeah.
Kind of. Yeah. I'd say so.
Yes, I forgot almost about that. Merlin was inspired by Gandalf.
Oh yeah, that's not even the worst. That's not the worst of it either.
Yeah, let's keep going.
Yep.
Let's keep going.
Let's get this show rolling.
The samurai were really good on horseback when they were using their spears and bows, but if they had to dismount and fight on foot, they were pretty much hopeless.
What?
No.
Yes.
Are you serious?
Yes, I agree with him.
I guess they were just useless, you know, just
Yes.
nothing they could do.
Here's the thing. Yes, against another samurai with proper armor, another samurai against them is basically useless. Yes, because their katana, they've lost their spear probably, and the naginata is not going to pierce the armor of the day. They don't have their kabuto. They have kabuto. What is the fucking thing? The shit where it's like the bunch of bell, their club, their version of the mace.
Kanebo,
yes. They don't have their kanebo. If you're actually having to face off against a samurai in the middle of the heat of battle, there's basically nothing you can do other than maybe try to wrestle them, because katanas do not pierce the armor of the day, basically since like the year 1000 up until
I watch
1800.
anime.
But
so
Katana's cut through everything.
I think he's right. I agree with him.
Yeah,
but
this isn't the army of the dead. This isn't. This is an argument for samurai. He's arguing that the army of the dead.
He made one good point. I must defend.
Yeah. Let's keep going. Let's keep going, shall we?
Let's get the big stupid. Have we got to the big stupid yet?
Peasant ninjas when they tried to fight on foot because the ninjas were faster. And to circle back,
Shit, I guess the samurai were screwed. They couldn't handle the ninjas.
But that would be okay.
I don't know how ninjas relate to the army of the dead.
Okay,
it's like the exact opposite.
Back up, so we get the full context.
Ninjas relate more closely to Arya than they do to
Everybody
the army of the
mute.
dead.
Shut up.
Yes.
We gotta read the context and then we can talk.
Yeah.
All right.
Fight on foot, they were pretty much hopeless. They often got killed by peasant ninjas when they tried to fight on
Peasant ninjas.
Almost
It's even worse.
No. Almost all peasants were ninjas. He's right again.
Oh shit, that's right.
Ninja.
Look at Joel. Done. Highlight fight the expert. Look at him. He's fucking losing his mind right now.
Yeah, he kind of is.
You know,
Back to the
expert join.
No, there's way too many people here right now.
We've already got 7 people in here.
7 people is a lot.
Yeah, we've got a lot.
Yeah.
On foot because the ninjas were faster. And to circle back to what I said earlier about armor, the ninjas would get kill shots at their exposed armor.
Just absolute verbal diarrhea right now. You thought you were trying to defend him by saying something logical, at least somewhat, but then he talks about fucking peasant ninjas. It's just totally left field. Like you can't even get a foot in the ground.
Most ninjas were peasants. That's what they were.
Well, at least,
did peasant ninjas fight on the battlefield?
No, they don't fight on the battlefield. They're
more like
guerrilla warfare. It's an early example of guerrilla warfare.
Well, you could also just
now things are actually making sense.
Well, so technically you could also just use peasants and then say like, yeah, these peasants are going to beat these samurais definitely on horseback. Yeah, because we have something like spears. I don't know. Yeah.
Okay, let's get this show back on the road.
It's kind of like how Braun killed that one guy early in the show who had a bunch of armor on. That's a ninja fighting a samurai, effectively.
Wait, hold on, what the fuck?
That's a ninja like how Braun killed that one guy early in the show who had a bunch of armor on. That's a ninja fighting a samurai, effectively.
Well, the guy in the armor was really dumb, so
I mean, also here's the thing: the Army of the Dead are not as skilled as Braun. Braun's actually relatively skilled.
Yeah.
The Army of the Dead are a bunch of.
He's actually really skilled by the scaling of the show.
Well, they're technically not mindless unless the plot demands it.
Okay, but they don't have skills.
Yeah.
Well, they have hypersensitivity sometimes not.
They have chains. They can pull chains and stuff.
Hey, I don't want to talk about the moment I lost my
moves,
genitals.
They have like this assassin blade move, like whoa, and then they grab somebody somehow.
They mostly just dogpile people.
Yeah, like rugby.
Or just wave over them like a fucking tidal wave somehow.
Yeah.
Man, they must have really been public resources in order to do that, because that's quite a lot of...
Yes, Braun is skilled. It's been demonstrated throughout the show.
As the blood heirs of the dragon,
so I don't feel
Annie and John understood implicitly how to use close air support and air power.
Okay, so if we're talking cast, then I'm your guy.
Yeah, because
let's
the way
fucking go, A10 Warthog!
Look, fuck A10 Warthogs. And I want to do. Well, A10 Warthogs are pretty nice, but F14 all the way.
Let's keep going.
Dragons were best used for close air support of the ground troops. However, Danny and John knew that they had a 2-to-1 advantage in dragons, and that they would also need to look out for the dragon led by the Night King who would try to attack them. So what they did was very clever. They balanced out providing close air support with fighter patrol. People have
no.
The dragon
Okay.
is made for one or the other. It's clearly more like a warthog than it is like an F-35 or whatever.
An F-35 is actually a stealth bomber, so F-35
where the fuck a Raptor is.
Raptor is actually a multi-role stealth fighter. So it can either be
no, the Raptor is not a stealth fighter.
He also fights.
No, that's what it was listed as.
He also
it's
fights
very weird. That's what they call it, but it's not. It's not.
He also fights in multiple battles and doesn't die. Amelia plot armor, but he still fights
to me, it's clearly an A10, if anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. For some reason, they listed it as a stealth aircraft for some ungodly reason, even though it's the opposite.
The Raptor is not. It's Anyway,
let's keep going.
Let's go.
Or not being focused enough on burning troops alive. But again, they had to keep their rear open. So what they did was circle around the castle. That way, they were not committing too much to any attack, and they wouldn't leave their butts exposed to an attack from above, which is another common fighter tactic that is used in real life and has been since World War I when airplanes were invented. So they would circle around the battlefield, never commit too much to a ground attack, and then when the other dragon appeared, the plan was to double up. They knew the dragon would go after them. They split up to ensure that it would appear, trying to get a quick victory. They would deny it the quick victory, double team it, take it out.
That I agree.
Yeah, that's what they were trying to do. That's kind of not what was conveyed. They were thinking that they would stay out. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be a good tactic. I agree with them.
But the problem is, hold on.
It wasn't inherently not shown.
Yeah.
The problem is that the Night King could have just killed the fucking nuked Bran like in 5 seconds, like because in the beginning of the episode, Daenerys and Jon were grounded, not even on their dragons. So
yes, he wasn't even covered.
Yes. By the time they would have mounted, the Night King could have swooped down, fucking nuked Bran, and gotten out of there, and they wouldn't know what hit him.
Okay, so I looked into it. Apparently, while it isn't a quote-unquote stealth fighter, it is pretty hard to detect.
Yeah, let's keep going. Let's just keep going. Let's keep going. We can do
that.
this.
That's what I have to say there.
We're only a third into the video, and it's an hour and a half.
Which is the main thing they need to be doing to help their friends. The top priority for them personally was to take down the dragon, and hopefully the Night King would be on that dragon. They could take him out too. So what they were doing was very much in line with the tactics of the U.S. Navy right now. When the Navy sends an aircraft to support the Army, they usually send in the F-15 Tomcat, the fighter from Top Gun, and it either shoots down enemy planes or it blows stuff up on the ground to enable advances. One preparation made by Danny and John that none of the so-called military expert reviewers have understood is the diversion created by Bran over by the tree with Theon.
That's not a diversion. That's if you don't count the aerial attack, yes, that's a diversion. But also if you don't account for the fact that they can scale walls by piling on top of each other, it's not a diversion.
Is this I have to go now territory?
Yeah.
If you were to pull up a picture of Winterfell, you can see that they could just bypass everything.
Okay.
And go right to the God's
First off, motherfucker, Bran had his ability to warg into birds. A bird's eye view of the battlefield. Now, what do you think that has on tactical value? How do you think observing the entire field of battle as it's occurring and giving help by informing people of any decisions that's currently happening?
Our UAV is online!
What?
Our UAV is online.
Yes. So Bran's technically a medieval UAV that didn't even do his job right.
Oh, well, technically, he kind of forgot about, his psychic connections, that he could actually technically communicate with a lot of animals. So he could actually use those animals to fight for him, but no. He used them to fly around and do nothing.
He was useless throughout the entire battle.
Yep.
And then he was like, I knew you would have come. It's like...
useless character.
Yeah, you could have got some cool Raven Commando ninja demons.
You could have used those ravens to attack the Night King, and then disturb him from his ride on the dragon, and then use the two dragons to attack the other dragon. Let the Night King fall to the ground, and then be easy done. But no.
I feel personally attacked over here.
You should be. Your role sucked in this battle, dude.
Shut up.
Shut up.
No, if anything, I'm glad we kind of nerfed him. I saw how much damage he was doing. I was thinking, nope. So I slipped an idea to one of the writers to tell him to nerf his power early on.
Yeah, well, that is because of the immunities it had was too powerful.
Okay, let's see.
Yeah, so while they were writing it, I slipped them a note that said that the white dragon's flame breath had too much power. They should probably change it.
All right, let's finish.
Bran is that his presence there was designed to draw out the Night King, distract him, and also make him divide his forces.
But okay, I want to talk about this again.
He didn't do that. The Night King did not do that. What is wrong with you?
And if that was their plan, they sucked at it. Because if the Night King was to be drawn out, the Night King would have reached Bran and nuked him before they would have reached him in the first place.
Well, technically, he would just land there and just murder everybody there, and then just go kill Bran.
No, he doesn't need to do any of that. He can just strafe it.
You
see the damage he did.
Yeah, just go down, blast the whole Godswood, kill everybody in it, and just move on. Because Bran is the memory of Westeros and the memory of the whole world.
A couple of things. Firstly,
I thought he was this magical creature that could control minds, and that's why the Night King wants him dead, so that he could take over his mind as well.
No,
and use
because
him.
That's too complex.
It's his memory. No, it's because it's his memory. They say that in episode 2, I believe.
Yes, they do.
Okay, a couple of things. Firstly, why Bran was not communicative. Why is he not communicating?
Because he's the Bran 9000, not a character.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
He's Dr. Bran Hatton.
No, he's Bran the bonus.
Yeah. Secondly, has anyone noticed yet that this chap, the remarkable Republican chap, consistently misspells Danny?
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay, let's continue. Now, fuck you. Now I see this. God damn it. I wasn't being paying attention.
Bran, of course, had no combat value as a cripple, but due to his psychic connection, he could serve as bait and do so well.
Serve as bait and do so well? What bait?
No. He would have just got yeeted instantly if he was actually bait, because Jon and Dany were just sitting there fucking on their ass the whole time. I keep saying it over and over again, but it's so fucking true. All he had to do was strafe him once and it's dead. The whole fucking show's over. It's so dumb.
My question is, why didn't they open up with Dragon Fire?
Well, they kind of forgot.
Because they wanted to do a cool Dothraki self-kill
suicide charge. Yeah, suicide charge. Yeah.
But then they all respawned later on.
I wonder, what would have been the equivalent of an AC-130?
I don't know. Valerian.
I'm just upset.
What about me?
I am.
I don't know.
AC-130, Bob!
And I'll just be the small, nimble, fast.
I don't know what my my fighter jet designations very well.
An AC-130 Reaper is a gunship, actually.
With tactical missiles coming in.
So hence Balerion the Black Dread. How much? Yeah, let's keep going. We can do this. We're stronger than this
By
video.
setting up Bran with Theon and a few others, the Night King was then encouraged to weaken and divide his forces, which would make it easier
He didn't.
for Dany.
That's not what happened.
He just steamrolled straight into it. Like, fuck this shit. I'm just gonna take this castle and fuck everybody in it. They all die.
Besides, it doesn't matter. He has like a bazillion fucking zombies. They can all swarm him from all
And
sides.
then Jon comes in like, I'm gonna kill you, and he's like, sup, bro? You want me? Huh? And then everything rises up again.
I know. I like how Jon just stops running after him and just stands there looking at him.
Yeah, not even charging him. It's like, oh shit, he's reviving this thing. No, I'm too slow.
And Jon's other troops.
He's so sluggish.
Now, Bran was keeping everything close to the vest. He probably knew the future already, but because of his
That's so fucking lazy.
That is very lazy. And like he
hate
says,
it.
I don't know. He even says like I don't know. He doesn't see the future perfectly.
The writers never put any thought into this. You're just grasping at straws.
If Bran sees the future, he's evil.
Yes.
Yeah, Bran, he is the most evil character in the entire... He's worse than Ramsay. He's worse than Tywin. He's worse than Joffrey.
And damn Daenerys, because he could have stopped all of that.
Yeah, because he wants to take over King's Landing. His master plan worked. Yes.
Yep.
The only way in which you can do this whole he can see the future thing and make it work is if you do something like Dr. Manhattan from Watchmen, where there is literally one future and he can't prevent it.
Nonchalant attitude, I imagine that Dany and Jon thought it was possible that Bran might actually have the ability to kill the Night King in some way that he wasn't sharing.
No, that contradicts your previous point.
I forgot his previous point.
His previous point was that they thought that the dragons would be able to double team and kill him.
Yeah, I mean, my brain is kind of shutting down. So like, fucking, I gotta get back in the game. I gotta get my gamer face on. All right, let's get this going.
Get your head in the game. Get your head in the game.
Yay!
More than willing to serve as bait, they figured, hey, let's let him do this. It's not like he has that much of a purpose anyway if we're keeping it 100, outside of his ability to be creepy. So they did that, and this turned out to be decisive.
He seems such a stupid character.
This was the decisive move of the battle, but not quite for the reasons that Dany and Jon thought it would be, although it was still due to their preparations as commanders that it was enabled.
Fucking worthless commanders.
The biggest disadvantage that Dany and Jon had from a tactical standpoint is that the Night King could control all of his undead men from his mind. But they had to actually issue orders because they're just mortals. So one way to combat that is to make sure that...
What?
What has she done knowing?
Well, I wonder what I did wrong.
Oh no. It's all done and over now.
You appoint unit and flank commanders. In other battles in Game of Thrones, this is not done. But in a lot of real medieval battles, the good armies would do this, whereas the losing armies didn't. And that is to use subordinate officers who can think for themselves and make decisions at a local level. So what they did is they delegated command in different areas, and that would really work out for them because the battle would quickly separate into a few different struggles inside, outside, and over at the tree area.
This is kind of neat surface level shit, but there was no structure to anything, I swear. It's just shit.
Yeah, this is just fanfic, essentially.
Yeah.
It was like a fucking child.
No singing High School Musical. Okay, that makes sense.
High School Musical singing.
I honestly forgot about that even existed. I would have never guessed that.
Get your head in the game. That's that's a basketball song from High School
I know a good place to put their heads.
On a chopping block.
Yes.
Yeah, let's keep going.
All of their leaders were brilliant generals and experienced. Jaime Lannister.
How do you unironically say that? You fucking melon.
I'm pressing X here. That's definitely an X.
Everybody in chat, push F for respect.
I think
or F you for disrespect.
I don't know. All brilliant. Where is Bronzion Royce in all this? And Brienne of Tarth is not a general. She's a brute. She's just a champion type.
She's a mercenary most of the time.
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah.
She's just a regular old adventurer, you know, being the adventurous type, doing adventurous shit. She's not actually a general.
Johan, she's not an adventurer, okay? She hasn't burnt down a village because she didn't want to pay 5 gold for an item.
Okay.
You're only adventurer if you do morally questionable things.
She's a knight errant. Let's go with that.
She was knight in the last episode.
Hence,
You know, I see a suspicious amount of women in this right here. Don't you see that? Kind of. You know,
Oh, Karen, and Karen, and look at that, Karen.
Different guy, actually. Different guy. That's a different guy. That's Knobs.
I know. That's it.
Yeah, let's keep going, shall we?
Was probably their worst general there, and he was still pretty good. I mean, if you look at the show's history, he clearly wins more battles than he loses, and he's also good with a sword and good at inspiring men and all of that stuff.
Wait, is he talking about Jamie? No, he's not good with the sword anymore. It's kind of part of his arc that he lost his sword head.
Part of his what? What's an arc?
I forgot. Is that thing where they rode it on a boat and they save all the animals?
Yeah. There we go.
Yeah. Or it's that flower thing. It's that flower in space. I think it's from that ring game. They have the big rings in space.
Or the or the color out of space. That's a possibility.
Like, wow.
And if he's the worst guy you got, then your army is pretty cool.
If you have Liam Lannister as your commander, your army's pretty cool.
Pretty much every good general. Actually, if anything, there were more generals there who were endorsing Danny and John's plan and helped them form it than there are generals advising President Trump, and he has the support of all the generals.
Okay, what the fuck?
No,
I fucking hate Trump. This feels so fucking random.
Well, here's the thing.
Okay, so I just have to say, I fucking hate Trump.
It's so fucking random. Why do you have to bring fucking politics in this shit?
That was a Quentin
Stop
Reviews
bringing
joke, by the way.
politics into my movies.
Yeah, I know. I did it first.
I think he's
Fuck,
just
I'm a hack.
I think he's just. I don't know if he's referencing politics. He's just referencing something. Let's ignore that. Let's keep going. Let's keep going.
By the way, Brent, guess what I had to do? Brent.
Mute.
What's up, nigga?
Oh God, no! Now we're gonna take it down.
And ban.
Right there. What this did was to establish a clear chain of command, and this meant that there was always someone in charge. And because the talent pool was so deep, and there were so many people like Brienne of Tarth there, even if some of the appointed commanders go down, and some of them did, like Jorah, there was always someone who was perfectly capable of taking their place and doing just as well.
Not really, but okay.
Yeah, but you're forgetting about the part that everybody has such insane amount of plot armor. You're just going to skip all of that.
Mm-hmm. Well, technically, none of them
was
died.
Almost about to die, and then they cut away, and they're fine.
What's the
Well,
point of
technically,
making
none of
armor
them died.
matter if
Only
plot armor is all that
Jorah
matters?
just died. That's it. That's all, folks.
You know,
Yeah,
Sam
Jorah-
had the real plot armor.
Yeah.
He had rolls of it, I guess you can say.
The characters that didn't die might as well have been naked for all of the difference that it would have made.
Oh yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Is that a Mulder quote? I could have swear that might have been.
I don't want to. I don't want to bet.
No, that's original me.
Way to go, Dunchap.
Yeah.
Anyway, you've earned. You actually earned a lot of points for
It's
that.
a done all ritual.
Let's keep going. Shall
Oh,
we?
you've done it.
I know. Let's keep
So
going.
this was a great decision.
You done
and a great
fucked up
preparation,
now.
and it is completely and totally realistic.
Okay.
It was a great decision and a great preparation, and
Lies.
It was a great
lies,
decision. It was a great.
There was no chain of command. There was no calling the shots. It just was a melee pile where nothing made sense. It was just a slugfest, and nobody seemed like they were in command at all. It was just sit in front, wait.
Hang on, can you put that back like another 15 seconds?
there was always someone who was perfectly capable of taking their place and doing just as well. So this was a great decision and a great preparation, and it is completely and totally realistic, and it also gives a lot of credence and reinforcement to how good all of these people are as warriors and
you can pause that. Now, the problem here is that there's absolutely no sense of order in anything regarding this battle. It's intentionally about disorder. That's what they were aiming for. They were aiming for, like, oh, we had a plan, but everything is falling apart in front of our eyes. So I have no freaking clue why he's trying to argue that there's some chain of command. The entire point of this battle.
What? Oh shit! Did he just cut off his leg?
Yeah, it looks like it.
Damn it!
What was that?
Random chainsaw sound.
Oh, sorry. There's I don't know what's going on outside of my own. I don't know what's going on site, so that'll be me actually. So I'll just mute myself.
Why?
Nice
Your leg off.
Let's keep going.
One thing that people don't seem to understand is that in the Middle Ages, when there was an attack by a foreign power, especially a Muslim power, because Muslims are really known for doing a lot of rape.
What?
Okay. I mean, is he wrong?
Holy shit!
I mean, that's
just hit the fan. Holy fuck!
Jesus Christ, my guy.
You wanna know who raped more people than Muslims? Well, the Crusaders who came to their lands.
No, dude. Look up Iberian Peninsula. Let's try again there.
Let's just say they all did a lot of.
All right, let's
also look up
into
Constantinople.
We're gonna get taken down in a minute.
Northern Africa.
Oh, you know, village rape and burn. You know.
How about let's agree that people were fucked up as hell back then, and that generals could have no control over the actions of their subordinates.
Yes, definitely.
Well, it's still pretty effed up now. It's not a medieval thing.
Yeah,
it's
also like
100 times better now.
And also,
let's be clear about that.
Yeah, he's factually wrong in the next point. Samuel was on the battlefield. He never goes down to the crypts.
Did he even watch this fucking episode? It's like he didn't hardly pay attention.
And also,
he just watched the trailer. That's all, folks.
And also, what they think. Also, why would they think like they're thinking like to prevent rape? What? The Army of the Dead, as far as I know, doesn't rape.
They just want you to be dead. They don't give a fuck about your dignity.
Hey,
your dignity has no value as an individual.
And your kids, and your wife.
You're forgetting about the only one who cares about that kind of stuff. Me. So they're hiding them from me.
The point of the undead is they have no value for you as an individual. They don't give a fuck about raping you. Hey,
fuck you. Fuck you. You
Wait,
don't tell me what I can and can't do.
Wait, are you admitting that you would rape these people?
Yes, but also, no. My point is that they have no value for human life. Therefore, rape would matter for nothing because they don't care about human life.
So little granny in the crypt is gonna rape their little granddaughter. Oh my god!
No, because they don't give a shit about that. They don't value human life. All they care about is that they don't exist anymore.
Ah yes, Mr. Stabby Man is coming into gonna stab you.
I'm sure it's correctly white.
Oi, matey, fuck off! You ain't understanding what I'm listening to.
So you would take Peter Dinklage and pound him into the ground.
Yeah,
dude, that guy. I would fuck up Peter Dinklage.
Oh, so that explains why the troll was grabbing the little child.
Okay.
No.
This is getting to a really dark place.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Come on.
Brett.
This is so
stupid. Brett, what was started was a very cursed conversation.
I feel like y'all started that shit.
We did, yes, but we should keep going.
We always start the weirdest conversations.
Keep going.
EFAP, but we do
let's
sex.
not do this anymore.
Children somewhere to prevent rape.
All right, enough about rape.
This is the same here. They hide all of the women and children and other people who are non-combatants in the crypt because they don't want them to get raped and murdered.
He actually says that.
No, he did not say that. He did not say that.
This is the same here. They hide all of the women and children and other people who are non-combatants in the crypt because they don't want them to get raped and murdered.
Who knew that the
Serious.
So my suggestion was actually according to him right.
Wait,
oh my god!
Wait a minute. Does he know me? How does he know me?
Well, you're a fairly prominent role in the show.
What kind of shit?
So
this is a joke. This guy is a this is a parody, or this guy is fucking mentally insane. You cannot defend this anymore. You're getting better.
Very horny.
Clearly, he's School of Movies right-wing edition.
Yeah, this beats School of Movies actually.
Yeah.
I am dignified to know that I call him a retard.
Yeah, let's keep going. Let's keep going.
By the undead.
Raped and murdered by the undead.
You know, apparently, eating brains is no more longer priority number one.
Okay. Hey, guys, let's hear this in this full context. We got to hear this full Brunzel. We got to take this from the front.
They hide all of the women and children and other people who are non-combatants in the crypt because they don't want them to get raped and murdered by the undead.
Yes, you did say that. Clearly.
John, we clip that and send that to Dragons.
All right, where's my shotgun?
This is absolutely fucking insane. I don't give a shit when you say he's fucking retarded. I pulled out all the stops earlier, but holy fucking shit. You, sir, are like the dumbest person in the fucking planet. Are only comparable to Kirk Cameron Saving Christmas levels of retardation.
Well, technically, St. Nicholas was this hobo man who beat
just wait when he goes up against Shad. Just wait when he goes up against Shad. I don't know if we have time to get through that today, but it was...
Well, if we can just skip past... Well, the thing is, you went through at 3 hours and 30 minutes on my stream, so I think we can do something similar to that.
Yeah.
So that is the reason. Now, as for what
that is the reason. They just had the women and children in the crypt, so they won't get raped by zombies.
Somehow zombies rape. I have no idea why. They rape now?
You know what? Let's just move on.
Let's
see if
move
we can
on.
get through this.
Even though they had proven ability to fight, we're talking about Samuel, Tyrion, and a few others.
Samuel is never in the crypts.
These guys are more valuable as intellectuals than as warriors. That's why they're not being utilized. And while someone like Sansa is perfectly able-bodied and could probably fight, she is more useful as a political leader, the Queen of the North. So they also need some experienced people there to keep order among the people who have no experience. So that's what Tyrion and Sansa do. And
no, they don't.
The other reason to keep Tyrion in reserve, even though he is a proven commander, is what if there was a large number of deaths among the commanders, but a lot of the soldiers survive? So you still have some Unsullied running around or whatnot, but Grey Worm's not there. Well, you could always have Tyrion leave the crypt. When he hears about that, he could take command and keep the fight going, maybe try to retreat from Winterfell with the survivors and the civilians. So this was a good
How are they going to get out? How are they going to get out?
That's not what happened. That's not what happened. Everything went to shit as soon as they raised the dead in the crypts. There was no structure. Everybody deserved to die in that crypt, by the way, because they were fucking retarded. Jesus Christ.
They didn't remove the dead. That is fucking stupid.
Even
that
then,
they would be resurrected.
Even then, they just watched the zombies come out of their graves and did nothing. They just stood there and let them come out.
They were like, "Oh, is that a piece of candy? Huh, interesting."
Yeah,
how would Tyrion have gotten out of the crypt and taken command? Someone would have to come down, tell him that Commander X was dead, and then say, "Oh yeah, you got a command now," and he got to get up into a pile of zombies. How does any of this work?
And also the on the part.
Huh?
Also, like a big problem here is the fact that like there is one way out of the crypts. It seems like.
No, there is only one way out of the crypt. If we're going by book lore, like there's only one way to get out of the crypts. There is
and they
no
locked
secret
it down.
Yeah.
Part of John and Danny. And it actually makes complete sense. This is exactly what a real medieval commander, at least a smart one, would have done.
Yeah.
So, like Richard the Lionheart, had he been there, this is what he would have done. Well,
the thing is, he probably would have broken all the bodies in the coffin, so he would have been a smarter person than these two dimwits.
This deviates from my normal account of medieval realism. I do have to point out that if we're going to get deep into nerd culture, there are zombies in this, and they have to follow zombie rules. The Night King's undead horde just piles up and presses forward regardless of risk. That kind of pile-up thing that looks like a car wreck is exactly how zombies would behave. Just think about the logic of how zombies operate in every other known form of fiction.
They offer differently, function differently than different media. They're all the same.
I see one rule missing.
What?
Yeah, apparently these, according to the zombie rules, these zombies don't rape. Huh.
Damn.
Why do you say that?
But he
See,
said
this
that the
zombie right
zombies
here?
were raping.
He's looking at a woman.
I feel
right
like
there.
I feel
I'm gonna
like
rape
there's
that.
absolutely no reason to believe that they would.
Yes, but he said so. So it must be true, right?
What reason do we have to believe that they did? It's all about
Because he said
destruction
so.
of
Because he's
human-
into Lakito.
It's
Yeah, he
about the
has all these-
destruction of human life.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Don't you see his? Don't you see his like documents
Okay.
he has?
Pardon me.
Let's go. We're
Pardon me.
way too long in the
Pardon
movie.
me.
Dead.
They are afraid
They're
of
afraid
fire.
of fire, and they have to be decapitated to
Weren't
die.
they not afraid of fire earlier? And
No,
earlier?
they just kill themselves. They just throw themselves in the fire.
Yeah,
Well,
they don't give a
they
shit about
follow
fire
that
at
very
all.
consistently. That's why it is such a hard-fought, brutal battle. However, because these guys are undead, their greatly reduced combat IQ and hand-eye coordination contributes to unrealistic rates of survival among the combatants on the human side. So
Their hand-eye
Are you
coordination
really-
is improved the more there are because they are controlled by the Night King. It's like
Are
a
they-
grave mind.
Are they really trying to defend the massive amount of plot armor that is? I
Yes.
feel like that's what he's doing right now. He's just trying to bend over backwards to defend fucking the boat. Just continue.
saying the rates are unrealistic, that there are too many men left over to fight for King's Landing. These people,
They literally spawn. So fuck you. Okay.
They
as
actually
I'll argue later,
respawn,
know
like,
absolutely
you know,
nothing about
big
warfare. Not only that,
Damn.
though, but they don't know anything about zombies apparently either.
Damn.
Because zombies, while this
I guess because only the remarkable Republican knows about zombies. Apparently, everybody else, you're just dumb. Okay, everybody, we're all just dumb. Just remember that. Only he can
big,
tell us what we
well-rounded
think.
losers with lots of personalities.
Well, he's
Yeah.
remarkable after all.
Yeah,
Indeed,
isn't he just
he
the
is.
best as ever?
Yeah. Let's keep
He must
going.
be.
We got
zombies in this one
we
are
gotta keep
fast,
going.
they're still dumb, and they're also not very well coordinated. And they're fighting against very skillful fighters. So when you're fighting against
The
They seem
choreography
to
says
smother-
something else.
They seem to smother a whole lot of very badass troops like the Unsullied.
Oh, here we are. Economics degree. Yes.
Yes.
By the way, I want to highlight something from Nilius in the chat. The whites are more like Draugr than regular zombies.
True.
Yeah.
Like Skyrim
someone like
Draugr.
even Jorah, who dies in the battle. You got to remember, this is someone with decades of experience. He's been born a warrior. He's fought his whole life. And all of these things are second nature to him. He's got instincts that are better than most people's conscious thinking on fighting.
What the fuck does it even mean?
No, we're angry. Well, Jorah doesn't make sense because he gets killed while he gets shoved. He gets crappy.
He
gets
gets a shit sword that gets shanked right through him through his fucking plate armor. That's stupid.
Yeah.
No,
He
there's
gets
no way
shanked.
of predicting that.
It's
It
like,
was
oh my god, you
impossible.
got shanked. Oh no, you die now.
That sword would literally snap and like shatter before it would pierce that armor.
Or literally bounce off to the sides, but alright.
It has nothing to do with Jorah's capabilities as a fighter. all that matters is that he should have been dead in that circumstance.
He should have been dead by the charge.
He is a highly capable fighter, but when he is overwhelmed with a large amount of undead, he should be dead.
Well, technically, he should have already been dead when he led the charge of Diraki.
There's a bunch of places where he should have been dead.
Yeah.
That's exactly the
intelligent.
point. Pointing out his acumen has nothing to do with whether or not he should be dead. His acumen in the story should only meet that which his acumen can meet. If he is overcome with something that cannot meet, then that is a plot hole if he survives.
Also, don't forget the wolf actually survives as well somehow, even though you don't see him in the whole damn fight.
Ghost must survive. He must be pet.
Indeed.
John, go fucking pet him.
We also see the consequences of the combination of endless aggression and low IQ wandering in the library with Arya.
That's
and
so dumb. Shut up.
The reason why the zombies are just kind of stumbling around looking for stuff is because they don't really know what to do. The Night King's distracted, as I mentioned earlier. And this just shows that when he is distracted, that they're not all focused because they don't really have enough brain power to think for themselves.
Well,
So,
wasn't he? So
that
would be fair if he wasn't already pretty close to Bran. Like, very shortly after that is the Night King confronting Bran. So you can't really say like, oh, because the Night King is distracted, this is why his progeny are like absent-minded. No, he's basically right there with the intent of enclosing Bran. That's his goal. Bran is the ultimate goal.
Also, the default mode for whites is to just charge ahead, not wander around like in the
Well, what are they supposed to do when they're in a small space? Of course, they would change their motivation, their modus operandi once they're in a different environment. I mean, the Night King isn't that stupid. He's smart. That's the whole problem.
Also, maybe his commander should have actually,
quote unquote smart
commands on the, zombies.
He's supposed to be smart.
Yes.
Yeah.
There we go. I'm happy now.
15.
Actually makes a lot of sense when you
Therefore, the
understand
wandering is consistent in that point with what he is supposed to be.
Whole.
But, yeah.
Mauler and Field Marshal Rags didn't understand how the battle became so diffuse and how there was fighting simultaneously.
I like how he put the Dynasty Warriors picture there.
Inside and outside of the castle. It's because they have absolutely no idea how warfare works, because everything that they know about war comes from Call of Duty.
Well, apparently Call of Duty knows a lot better than you do, so get fucked.
I feel like that might be a joke. That could be a joke.
I think
he
brings it up multiple times. So.
I mean, he is a troll.
I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt, and either he's a troll or that's a joke.
You seriously are going to give him the benefit of the doubt after all the shit he said?
Yes, because
the army of the dead are going to rape the men and children, the women and children.
I'm an asshole like that. I give the benefit of the doubt.
Wait! You doubt that those zombies are not going to rape these children and all these old ladies?
I mean, that's what I would do.
I will tell you how it works when battles get really up close and personal, especially when you have a horde charging into a group of well-trained men. What the men will do is try to form in the clusters and create space where they can assist each other in cutting down the attackers. Basically, how battle actually works is, interestingly enough, almost exactly like Dynasty Warriors game.
What? No!
What do you say? What was the last bit?
Okay, to explain for those who don't know, Dynasty Warriors is developed by Koei Toei, but the game's action is very over the top.
It's
like you could
literally indulges in over the top shit.
You fight little armies by yourself.
There's a big difference.
I'm pretty sure Cao did not fight 1,000 men all by his own.
Honestly, that Dark Souls samurai game is way closer to reality than Dynasty Warriors.
Dynastor Warriors.
Dinosaur Warrior.
That sounds
Order in
cool.
disguise.
Hey, Brett, I think you mean Sekiro.
Yes, Sekiro.
Sekiro,
I've analyzed the combat, but I forgot the fucking name.
I'm triggered by medieval realism.
Let's get back on top. Okay.
The difference between Dynasty Warriors and real medieval combat is that no one will be quite as good as the person the player controls. That being said, a really skilled warrior in his physical prime who knows how to deliver
But at the end of the day, we all remember Sun Tse always dies by arrows.
That person could easily kill 75 to 100
triggered by medieval.
Oh my god, dude, you fucking missed it. You made us miss the fact that he justified 75 deaths.
Dynasty Warriors games. The only difference between Dynasty Warriors and real medieval combat is that no one will be quite as good as the person the player controls. That being said, a really skilled warrior in his physical prime who knows how to deliver all the kill shots, if he's uninjured and everything else, that person could easily kill 75 to 100 combatants in a single battle.
So, you take all that back now?
No, not all of it.
No, you'll be ready. You'll get there. Don't worry. We'll find a way.
Is that medieval realism?
Yes, that is medieval realism right there.
I'm triggered by
I'm very convinced that this is a troll. Like, 90% this is a troll. But that's Poe's law, right?
Yeah.
Or he could actually believe this and just trying to cover it up. I was only pretending to be stupid.
No. That's Poe's law. It doesn't matter what his intent was. You can't tell the difference between a person who's serious and a person who is so entrenched in their ideology that they sound so ridiculous.
Yeah. Let's keep
going.
It would
take a long time. One of the flaws of Dynasty Warriors, one of the flaws in the way that they do medieval realism, is that they make the battles too short. Real medieval battles would last for several hours.
Not all the time.
Days. They can last days.
Then there's no problem with what he's saying.
Yeah.
I feel like that's not a controversial statement.
So there were always lulls in the fighting and things like that. And as we'll talk about a little later, these lulls in the fighting are actually super realistic because while these battles took hours to resolve, the human body can't fight for hours nonstop. So you have to take little breaks here and there to get water or to go to the back while somebody else fights. That's part of why Arya was wandering around. It actually all makes sense when you understand how battles are actually fought.
Yes, the art of putting people to the back who are exhausted at the right time is actually an extremely complicated problem to solve for a medieval army. I agree with him. That's completely correct.
The way that battles really break down, and it's completely consistent with both medieval realism and with zombie behavior.
No! God damn it! No, you fucked it up!
Please explain why.
What, you want me to explain why? No, because you can't explain zombie behavior in one thing. Say, oh, that's zombie behavior. No. Also, the way that Winterfell dealt with zombie behavior was completely stupid. Like, honestly, what they would have to do is, like, deal with the onslaught with the Dragonstone, which would explode everyone who touched it. Get those people who have been fucking with that for like 5, maybe even 10 minutes. Swap them out through a porcupine formation. Swap them out back again after 5 minutes. Swap them back and got out again, so that the people who were at the front only had to spend 15 minutes in combat. Swap them out, and they're good.
The funny thing is that
that's what they should have done. That's what would have made a lot of sense. But he's like, oh, because better trained people can do better things. It's like, no, my guy, dude, have you ever fought for 15 minutes? It's exhausting. Holy fuck.
Oh,
it's
exhausting.
All right.
Terrible.
Let's get back on the video.
But anyway,
one more
let's leave
thing.
it there.
Let's leave it there. Leave it there.
Dan and Dave, the reason why they decided to retain this realistic thing is because it's also ideal for physical storytelling. This allows people
idealism
to
is
together
fine
with the people they care the most about and have moments, exchange a little dialogue.
Literary
It also
idealism.
allows people
What
to show off their
dialogue?
individual skills and also their ability to coordinate and cooperate.
Marta, no.
And also showing all these things going on at once gives you a timeline, a sense of progress. And you see that there's a lot going on at once, that this is a major battle. It adds to the epicness while also making it intimate and character driven. So the decision to do it this way,
I agree. That's a great way to tell a story.
Was it
That's
done
not what
this
happened.
way? And when is it
That's
done
not
that
how
way
it
in this
happened, but that's a
episode?
great way to tell a story.
It is. It is a very good way to tell a story, but it's definitely not how it works in this episode.
Maybe you
But we kind of forgot.
And anyone who tells you
Either he's a
otherwise
troll,
either does
or he's trying his best to merge it into a way that he thinks the story should be told.
All right.
Or he's talking about a different television show.
All right, let's move it on.
Realism, has never watched a zombie movie, or has absolutely no idea how to tell a story. One thing I really admire about the way that this battle transgressed is that the unit structure and battle diffusion created pairings of characters who had a history together, had fought together before, and had a lot of chemistry. It's like when you pair the perfect steak with the perfect wine. It's just the
He's not entirely wrong there.
But it's very convenient.
Very convenient, but
Yeah, very
incredibly improbable.
lives.
the principle of who should have been with whom in that moment is not that bad. I agree with him there.
Yeah.
It's just entirely convenient and directed by a person who doesn't give a crap about about how to do it properly.
And it's rather obvious too. I mean,
way
it's-
that
you don't get points for doing something obvious.
All right.
things were meant to
No, it's not.
Salt and
It's
pepper.
not that obvious.
Eggs and Tabasco, just exactly the way things were supposed to be. The drama this creates is pitch perfect.
Wrong.
The three dragons reunited.
Yay.
So the Battle of the Dragons takes place. I won't spoil it for you, but you can probably guess how it went. Bran finally meets with the Night King. These guys have been chasing each other the whole show. This has been a running storyline since season 1. They finally come face to face. Jorah fought alongside Dany. That was why he mounted his long recovery against Grayscale. So he finally gets a chance to save his queen and show his loyalty. Arya and the Hound fought together one more time. They fought together, but it had been a long time since the last time they'd fought together.
Okay. That's
Jamie
not
and
good.
Brienne fought together after becoming lovers, and after Brienne officially
They didn't become
one.
lovers.
They became lovers in the episode after this.
Also,
Like,
that's
I'm sorry,
the episode after this.
among the
What's wrong
worst
with
parts
you?
of the episode. There were so many bad parts. That's like, is that really the worst part of this terrible episode?
Also, the worst part is this isn't even. He's not even referring to this episode. He's referring to the next episode. He's got the timeline.
It's supposed. They were supposed to have been a platonic relationship wherein Brienne had romantic feelings for Jamie, but he could never feel that for her. A, because he was in love with Cersei. B, because she was so fucking ugly, according to him. It's like that was entirely supposed to be platonic for him. It was supposed to be his path to humanity. There was no romantic element to it. His attachment to Brienne was supposed to be oh, I'm finally understanding what it means to be a person, because this person who I think is just like ugly and tall and dumb and a woman who's a warrior, that makes no fucking sense. But he sees her as a person. There is nothing romantic about that to him. Her being attracted to him is because she sees him as a person who appreciates her. She's never seen that before from a person who wasn't fucking gay.
Also, here's the thing. He's also saying like they are like fighting after they become lovers. They become lovers. In the
They should
next
never
episode.
become lovers.
I know they should never become lovers, but he's gotten the timeline wrong, which is actually worse.
Well, you see, what happened was they
You're right. They become lovers after that. Oh my god.
And then the season, and then the episode after that, they break up.
I gotta go back to Cersei.
They went
Fuck
back
this shit, I'm out, dude.
All right, let's continue. We got 10 minutes still.
This battle's a night, and she's effectively both Jaime's bodyguard, lover, and assistant commander, and everything else.
She's not. No. Okay, pause.
Literally, none of that happens. They're just standing around, swinging as the zombies are smashing into them.
Also, have you forgotten that he specifically says that I want to be under your command?
Yes, thank you.
We kind of forgot.
And the fact that he is just down to be under her command, and that's how it works. And
he feels as though he has no control over his life or anything in the world. That's kind of the point of this episode.
They went back in time after they became lovers. Duh.
Then they break up, and then
clearly, it's move over time traveling Brands. We got time traveling Brienne and Jaime.
Time traveling love affair.
Bran versus Brienne is the same character, right?
Yeah.
No comment.
Don't forget the teleportation device on the ships of the Iron Fleet.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so before we move on, can I just point out that he's talking about the drama created by this. That drama is purely the result of the previous seasons. They're not creating drama, they're just exploiting the drama that already existed.
And they're not even doing it well.
Yeah.
They literally just put the characters together like action figures and then have the horde of Mook action figures smashing into them for 20 minutes.
We know that he's a meme channel, but that's why we're laughing, because it's hilarious.
Done. Neph and Infamous had another discussion.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll check that out later. But first, we need to check this out.
Yeah. All right. Let's get back to it.
Who once held court at King's Landing now hold court in the crypt.
No,
There's
they
a lot
don't.
of poetry here. Everything rhymes, much like in the sequels. And while a lot of people have mocked Lucas for saying that,
that has to be a joke.
Wait, there are sequels.
There is no rhyming in the sequels.
Wait, there is a sequel to the Game of Thrones season 8? What?
No, I think he's talking about the sequel trilogy.
I think he's actually talking about the prequels
now.
because I think he's going to say about the prequels, and because George Lucas said that they rhyme. And I think he just said that he got this he said sequels wrong. Mm-hmm. I think he just said sequels instead of prequels for some reason.
I am so fucking confused.
All right, let's finish this.
Is that he understands filmmaking and they don't. Things are supposed to rhyme. They're supposed to be things that make you remember other things. That's good filmmaking. That is good technique. And
not
this
necessarily.
Game of Thrones, this is by far the best made episode in terms of bringing together everything from previous seasons, at least for the surviving characters. Now, while I'm a huge fan of all of this season, I think that this episode was probably the peak. Another big misunderstanding of Field Marshal Rags needs to be addressed. Later, when we see the army after the battle, we see that there are still Dothraki, Unsullied, Northmen, and others still alive. But Field Marshal Rags, this being the combination of Mauler and Rags, claims that there were no survivors, there shouldn't have been, that they should have all died at Winterfell. Again, these guys don't understand war. These are the same morons who learned everything they know about warfare from playing Call of Duty, and they still think that it's possible to kill somebody by shooting them in the leg because they don't understand how the human body works.
It is possible, you retard.
It's entirely possible to kill someone. I mean, do we want to have me be the guy to say this, or do we want to have normal people who act like...
Well, if you shoot someone with a shotgun in the leg, and he, you shoot his leg off, then I think he will bleed to death.
Also, the argument is not... We see people getting their heads lopped off. We see people getting shanked. And like,
let me give the overview of how trauma works in the human body. You can be shot twice in the head and live. You can be shot once in the body and die. Like the size of the bullet, the amount of trauma caused to anything does not inherently decide whether or not you live or die, and it does not decide how long you operate as an individual before you live and die. People are different. Every situation is different. You can be shot 13 times in the chest with 9mm hollow points and still walk around trying to kill people. You can be shot in the head twice with 5.56 and still walk around trying to kill people.
Also,
you can be shot once with a 22 in the heart and die almost immediately.
Yeah, also we see like the Unsullied are mowed down. And like there's nothing around.
Was my microphone off the whole time?
No, like we could hear you. Yeah, it's totally like, and it's not even like that we're seeing like people getting killed by getting shot in the leg. No, it's that we see the army of the dead is surrounding Winterfell, and there's just a bunch, and all of they put all the Unsullied and all the Dothraki outside. So our assumption is they've killed all of them based on the visuals on display here.
But his point was something about like the amount of trauma that X causes to A.
One at a time. Becoming better than Endra. SDA.
His entire point was about the trauma that X causes to A. Like, you have no ability to understand what amount of trauma that some weapon or some projectile causes to A as it enters their body. That person may be extremely resilient, and even if they're not, they could still like resolve it. My point is, you have no fucking clue what putting a knife, a sword, a bullet, a larger bullet into a person's body will cause. So assuming that, you know exactly what this is going to get, being put into a person's body is going to actually like cause them, they'll be put out immediately, or they won't be put out immediately. It's like, excuse you, sir. That is one of the most complex things you could ever analyze.
Rule of thumb, you hit an artery, you're dead. You get an artery hit, you're dead.
Wrong. No. That's
really?
Wrong.
Or you're going to die soon, right? It's not an insta-kill.
You may completely live.
Really?
You could get shot in the head, live. You could maybe shot once in like the titty and die. You have no clue how it's going to affect your body as it enters your body. A projectile or a spear or whatever, an arrowhead.
You know what the funny thing is about the whole damn thing? It's like Don explained, like the whole Unsullied get mowed down by this wave of enemies, and then you see all these piles of bodies in the area of Winterfell, and then suddenly everybody's fine. It's like, wait, what? I only see 8 people or 5 people or 20 people still fighting, and now suddenly there are 300. Where did they come from?
Pardon me, but isn't it Adol's Strela's turn now?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, so Jorah and the Unsullied go charging in, and we only see a few of them return, right?
Yeah, like 3 or 4.
And they're terrified.
Yeah, then the Unsullied stay outside the castle to cover the retreat of everyone else. They get literally gang jumped by a flood of whites.
And they don't retreat.
Yeah, they don't retreat. Like, good on them for standing their ground, whatever. Like,
the gate is closed. They can no longer, get outside, get inside, and they get fucked up.
But for some reason, we're supposed to believe that half the Dothraki survived and half the Unsullied survive in the next episode. But then when we attack King's Landing later, they're seemingly back to full power. Why?
Well, they used that resurrection scroll. The priestess gave to I don't know.
They used
to one of them.
They used dark transfer from Star Wars.
Really,
Yes.
picked up some potions.
Maybe.
Yeah, potions, revival.
All right.
The Night King intentionally rose them for the opposite side.
You know what? I think Arya killed the White King, and the White King dropped that legendary loot that everybody was talking about.
And
all right, let's get back on the video.
They just don't understand anything.
Yeah.
But the thing is, if Field Marshal Rags, at least the Mauler half of Field Marshal Rags, would loosen up the gas mask he wears to protect himself against heterosexual influences.
You know what? That's a great joke. That's a pretty good joke. I'm gonna give him props.
That is very funny.
Yeah, that's a solid ass joke, dude.
That is very funny.
Is that unit annihilation is never literal. Here's an example
in this
from
case
Britain.
it is. In this case it is.
Trust me, the German World War II did that.
He's got a slide. Let's see what he's actually means by that.
World War II. The reason I choose this unit from Britain is specifically because Mauler claims to be British. He has a bad British accent that he.
He's not British. Last time I checked, he's
Welsh.
He's
Welsh. Oh, he's Welsh? I thought he was Scottish.
No, he's Welsh.
Who's Welsh? Now, I have heard that there's people who are in Britain who fake accents in order to seem like they're more educated, like when they do their videos. That's just a thing that I've experienced, but I don't know if that's what's happening here.
No, I just think that Mauler used to be Welsh. Mauler's Welsh, but he's done a lot of voice acting, so his accent isn't totally a Welsh accent.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, he doesn't have a very strong accent, and he kind of tries to tone it down because the Welsh accent can be really.
The one I
wacky.
think of is Crouten T, who was raised in a completely different region, who imitated a posh accent.
We're getting a little off topic.
Yeah, let's keep going.
But maybe he's actually obsessed with British culture, so he will know that this example is true. The Lost Battalion Mauler in World War II had 180 out of 450 members survive. Why, you ask?
This is not relevant.
What are they called the Lost Battalion? The lost part implies that they were destroyed, but they clearly weren't. Now, this was the worst casualty rate of the British unit.
Why does that matter?
From a single battle. But even here, you see that the losses are barely more than half of the unit. It's maybe 60% at
It's
most.
so much bullshit. It's whatever they write into the script. There's nothing more to read into it.
Also, we see unit annihilation in front of our face.
It's you're cherry picking a historical example when what really matters is what's happening on screen. Why are you comparing something that's loosely relevant to what is actually happening on screen?
But it's fake news, man. It's fake news. That Daraki you saw, well, that was fake. That was an illusion built by Cassandra.
So episode 3 is fake news. That explains a lot.
The White Walkers still exist.
Well, yeah.
So again, unit annihilation is never literal unless you're a child and you don't understand how warfare works.
Nope.
Again, we're talking about two guys who
relevant.
know war through Call of Duty, and a guy who wore a gas mask about World War II but doesn't understand World War II, or so it would seem.
I don't get his.
Also,
you're lame.
It's not about World War II, my guy. It's about fucking zombies.
ZOMBs.
Yep.
Remember that due to the lulls in the action and a focus on the main characters, we don't know who joined the undead and rose up with them in that one segment, and we also don't know who survived. Another thing to keep in mind about battle.
I don't get how that's relevant.
Well, everybody who died actually turns into a wraith. That's the whole
And
thing
also they
about him.
don't, and they turn back into part of the army that is conveniently
Yeah, but that's because of the legendary resurrection scroll the Raid King dropped. Don't forget that.
My bad. I'm sorry.
Well, you see what happened. Let me say. See, when the Night King died, they used the scroll to bring back the Dothraki, but then I stole that before I fucked off to the wall.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I'm able to. Because I can hear myself.
Now, it's tempting to say that, like, oh, that's a realistic example. Therefore, we should refer more closely to that. But oh, magic exists in this one. Therefore, we should be more closely relating to that. But it's really not about either of those things. It's about the rules established by both of those things in this universe. I don't give a fuck what happens in World War II, World War I. I don't give a fuck what happens in World of Warcraft. What matters is the rules established by this universe. And a lot of them interlap with, interlap. That's not a
overlap.
Word. Overlap, there we go. With late medieval rules. And unless you contradict those things in a specific manner, you don't get to say, oh, it's magic, therefore it doesn't really apply. No. The things that apply are the rules you established. Magic, late medieval bullshit, all that shit. It all applies. You don't get to bring in fucking World War I, World War II as like an excuse as to why this should or should not exist. Operate within the ground that you established within your own universe.
The funny thing is, you establish the rule. You establish, the things that you need to now you need to be honest with those rules. If you don't follow those rules that you established, then your story won't be very believable anymore. And that is actually exactly what happens.
Did Binwolf and so-and-so establish any actual rules in this show?
Well, they kind of forgot about that.
We kind of
okay, that's the seventh time we made that joke, dude.
We kind of forgot about our own rules.
We're going to be doing that all.
It is a meme. It is our best meme. Besides these performance these spaces.
And I actually have that meme. Let me pull it up, actually.
While Danny kind of forgot about the Iron Fleet and Euron's forces, they certainly haven't forgotten about her.
Yes.
Has any writer on anything ever said anything that stupid in an interview?
Yes. Anyone who is working on the new Star Wars sequels.
That is true. Yes, Chris Terrio and J.J.
Also, the fucking Brett Ratner, who's working on the X-Men 3.
Oh yeah, Brett Ratner's a moron. And like,
I know that Jon Favreau has said some really stupid shit on the Lion King remake commentary.
Yes,
but I don't think he said something like, "Oh, Simba kind of forgot about Mufasa."
Well, honestly, Jon Favreau has had really insightful shit to say about a lot of things, but he's also had very stupid things to say about a lot of things. Like his ideas on Chef, his ideas on The Mandalorian, his ability to reconcile the fact that he's very lefty and the fact that he sided with what's that MMA chick's name?
Gina Carano.
Gina Carano. God, I'm embarrassed. Siding with her and saying, I don't believe in cutting someone off because of their political beliefs. I think he has a lot of good takes on movies, on how you should take ideas and put them in. Like Chef, that's a fucking phenomenal movie. He's wrote, directed, and acted in it, and that's a great example of that. Anyway, long and short, I think that he's better than we want to portray him as.
I think he is. I think he definitely is.
Let's keep going.
Yeah.
Let's finish.
I wanted to cut that
they
short.
Happen at night, and people are tired. They will just wander off. Sometimes go to sleep after they've done their part.
She's bending over backwards to defend this shit.
In this case, how? There is no time to rest.
There's a bunch of time to rest. It's just that there's a bunch of fucking artillery shells hitting you day and night.
And also, it's like there's a bunch of zombies that are running through your home trying to murder you.
It's exactly the opposite thing. Because maybe psychologically, the idea of zombies approaching you is keeping you awake. But in World War I, it's literally perpetual bombshells keeping you awake. You cannot sleep because there is perpetual concussion
and
breaking
noise.
your ears.
Yeah, zombies don't lull, do they?
No.
All right.
No, I don't think they do.
Yeah,
not when they're rage zombies.
Possible that a lot of these guys did leave the battlefield and wander off when they got wounded or whatever, and they recovered before the next battle, because there was some time that
I swear to God, I just want to get through
the
this.
Unsullied was actually worse in the casualty rate for the Lost Battalion in World War II.
I don't give a shit anymore.
What we should do is take a moment to appreciate the incredible drama that Dan and Dave brought to us in this battle.
Oh,
so the
yes,
previous
that was so
episode was
true.
them waiting for the dead to arrive. It was dark, it was grim, it was overcrowded. Winter was setting in. They were huddled by the fire. They were exchanging stories, getting caught up, meeting new people in some cases.
All good
All
in
together.
In theory.
Almost grim. And then, after all of that, and after some of the bonding, a little bit of drinking, the undead arrive. Now the battle starts.
In theory.
And it starts unexpectedly. And then everything in the battle was epic. And the effects were amazing.
How did you even see
Yes,
the
it was
effects?
epic. It was dumb, but it was epic. I'll agree with that.
At a giant scale.
Yep.
This is by far one of the most technically impressive things that I've ever witnessed. And also, not only was this brilliant from medieval realism perspective, but also just from a filmmaking perspective. That scene in the Aria is actually probably the best part of this because it ties everything together. Now, on its own, it's not a strong scene, you might think, but if you really think about its role in all of this, it ties everything together brilliantly.
No.
So to avoid overwhelming the viewer, there's.
Okay, can we pause there for a second?
It's just Maisie face the whole time. Jesus Christ.
See, the thing is, a lull like this is, I don't know what to say. Okay, so the reason why a lull like that is necessary in the first place is because the rest of the battle is so monotonous, and it doesn't need to be.
We know that he's a troll. We totally know that this is, Thuristes the Historian. Oh. So
is he actually, or is that like a thing he's claiming?
So Thuristes the Historian's meme channel. Let me look that guy up, actually.
Incredible drama. It is incredible, certainly.
Well, the worst thing about Area is like, I don't know. She feels so dull in the series.
Maisie Sue.
Yes, definitely a Sue, because in the last battle, when Cersei in the Cersei battle, it's like, oh no, she gets hit by a rock, but she's fine. Oh no, she gets and she's fine.
Why is she
died by Dragonfly? Nah, she's fine.
She's not burned.
Let me bring it back further. Oh no, Macy got stabbed and got thrown into a mucky river. Oh no, oh she's fine. She drank soup.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, that was so stupid.
I was like, what the?
It is him! It is him! It is him! Same voice!
Oh.
I'm gonna look this guy up now.
He put out something 2 days ago. He put out something 2 days ago. No, he streamed something 15 hours ago. It's the same guy. It's the freaking same guy.
Oh, what? Cheese is the same chap as Remarkable Republican, then?
Yep, it is the same guy. The voice is exactly the same.
You see, I had an actual video of an actual retard in my suggestions in my poll section.
I have to say, if this is supposed to be a meme channel, it's not a very good one.
No,
it's still funny though.
It's only ironically funny.
Yeah.
Like if it's haha, you thought I was stupid, but I'm really not. Maybe kind of joke. Maybe it's like an insight, like a haha, you don't know I'm actually not dumb kind of joke, I guess. I don't. Yeah.
There's a lull where even Arya, the hardened warrior, has to take a break from the fighting. She is mentally tired from dealing with this, and there are zombies around. She's a little scared, even though she wears other people's faces and murders people. Because this is showing you the horror of this battle.
Honestly, I don't
So you're talking
feel
about
like
a hardened
commenting
killer
anymore.
seeing the horror of this battle and having to retreat a bit.
Technically,
She
the
goes to
Hound was
library,
actually better at that.
And
Okay.
then she's hiding from zombies because she's trying to save up her energy. And then she runs into another battle. There's a running battle, and these guys have been taking a break too behind a door. So we see that everybody's kind of going through the same thing, but we get just a picture of it through Arya's experience. We know from that everyone's going through it. So this is brilliantly done. It works on every level, and it ties everything together.
No, it doesn't.
That battle between the
ties every what thing.
I honestly can't even take this seriously anymore. I've kind of just been deflated.
But he just said it. Are you people
I don't care.
wrong? He just said it. It has to be right.
Yeah.
Honestly, the whole library sequence just confused me because there was no sequence of events that led from, I don't know, double spear Darth Maul Arya out on the battlements into that.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I forgot about she was using a dual spear.
Maybe she's claustrophobic. She got scared when she went inside because she's claustrophobic.
Oh no.
Possibly.
God, was that brutal and gut-wrenching as we had that battle between the dragons, and my God, was that brutal and gut-wrenching as they're just tearing at each other. And
I mean, I could barely see it, so I didn't do much.
Oh, I swear to God, I should have won that battle. To be fair, come to think about it, because I always draw this comparison between Jon versus the White in season 1, like how the White was so much more stronger than the living counterpart. And I always found that the chopping of the head was a bit silly. Like, have you ever seen animals chop off the other animal's face like that? That was
not really, no.
I think it's more like a spectacle thing than something that would happen in the universe if it was more consistent.
Yeah, let's keep
going.
Well,
it's not an animal. That's the entire problem with the entire thing, is that the Night King and all his progeny are not supposed to be animal. They're supposed to be like intelligent, sentient beings. That's why, like,
I don't
the whole stab him. That's how you win the fight. Just stab him in the face. That being the resolution is ridiculous, because the Night King and his progeny are supposed to be intelligent.
Mm-hmm.
That's not.
And they're actually supposed to be thematically relevant.
Yeah.
I think we're talking about two different things.
Yeah. Let's keep going. Let's keep going.
Daenerys had to lose another one of her dragon children, and it was just a very emotional and powerful scene. And then Jorah intervened, and I mean, it would be hard to
the way he phrased that. Yeah, George intervened on the dragon battle. You know.
Wait a second. Did he say she had to lose another one of her dragon children? She'd already lost one, and she loses the other one in the next episode.
Yeah.
Oh, that was so dumb. They should have lost him in this episode. At least it would have meant something.
Wait, he survived?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rhaegal survived, and he gets shot down by Euron in episode 4.
Presuming the conclusion.
I kind of forgot about that.
Fuck you. Oh my God, that was literally the justification for Euron killing Rhaegal.
Yep. Euron, the bowmaster of King's Landing.
I don't want to hear any more about this. Let's continue.
Dude who's able to
battle.
Yes.
The fucking auto aimer with aimbot.
Let's keep going. Yeah.
Epic battles deserve epic conclusions, and that's just what we got at Winterfell. There were a whole lot of balls in the air. The undead were on the verge of victory, yet the human side was able to win in a way that makes perfect sense within the universe from a
Yes, it's hard to comment anymore over knowing he's a troll. It's like I don't care.
Storytelling perspective, and it sets us up to go forward. Well, how does that work? Let's find out. I will spell it out since way too many people on the internet are too stupid to figure it out.
Damn.
First of all, one of the key events of the battle that gets overlooked, and people just shit on Theon for this, but they shouldn't. The Night King kills Theon when he tries to defend Bran. And what
does he try to defend Bran? He awkwardly does a wobbling YOLO charge at the Night King.
So it's a symbol for the limits of human courage. Because
all right, for now on, we're just gonna let the rest of the video play, and then we'll comment later.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
good news.
Okay.
Yeah.
The humans have been fighting courageously the whole time, and no one is braver than Theon, who signed up for this duty, which he knew might result in his death. So that shows you that conventional means and just the human heart won't be enough to succeed. And in this way, it actually makes this battle more epic than anything in Lord of the Rings. Because in Lord of the Rings, the courage of Frodo.
No,
Here
no,
we need
keep
more than
it,
courage.
keep it locked up.
When he resurrects the undead and the fallen humans, the Night King represents the inevitability of death.
The thieves!
Decline of what man builds. States, empires, everything like that. So the Night King is not only just a formidable opponent, he is some force of nature. And he's even greater than anyone realized until that moment. He has powers that they cannot comprehend. So what they're doing is fighting a losing but brave battle. So how does this come to an end? Well, there are two characters who are characters of destiny in a much different way than all the other characters in the show. They had side stories which were at times a little confusing, but ultimately proved to be completely important and also just vital to the destiny of the Seven Kingdoms. Bran and Arya.
No!
What they do to kill the Night King fulfills their purpose in the show, and it also shows that in order to break the cycle of death, something that is inevitable, you have to do something magical. You can't operate within the rules of the universe. And because they break the rules of the universe to end this challenge, what they establish is that the Night King was actually the most formidable villain that has ever been created.
Okay, then why did they not
reinforce the rules by
conclude?
breaking them, if that makes sense?
No,
This is a
keep it,
brilliant
keep it.
move on the part of Dan and Dave, and it further establishes exactly how important Bran and Arya are. So if you re-examine all the things they did in the past, everything makes way more sense now. The Night King also, his only flaw was underestimating these two, even though he did know they were dangerous. It works
And
really
also
well.
Arya's teleporting
Arya
machine.
killed him suddenly, because otherwise, if he had a protracted battle with him, she would have definitely lost. So that is realistic. It's a lot like how in The Last Jedi, when Kylo Ren killed Snoke so quickly because Snoke is so powerful. So that is a realistic way of showing this. There's also a tribute to Lord of the Rings where it is Frodo's ring toss after climbing Mount Doom and not Aragorn's army that ends up ending Sauron's reign.
Yeah,
So,
no shit. That's
that's
a
a
completely
great
different
throwback and
comparison.
tribute.
What's that?
And of course, it brilliantly sets
Hold
up
it
the
in.
remainder of the season. Danny and John are still alive. They still have an army. Their army's a little battered, and otherwise it would have been overwhelming. But now they're on about equal odds with Cersei. So now the real Game of Thrones can take place. Now that it is clear
Equal.
that the normal cycle
The Golden
of life
Army
and death
was
will
just a
continue.
pushover.
Because Night King was threatening to interrupt all of that and just
With
seize
no
the crown.
elephants, apparently.
But now things are back on track, and now we're back down to the petty world of men, which is determined by steel and courage and all the normal stuff and politics.
Is that Chuck Theon or
this
the
is
Night
why season 8 of Game of Thrones is brilliant, and why if you
No!
don't understand it, you're not brilliant.
Shut up.
I am the Remarkable Republican, bringing the truth with a truth-flavored bias.
All right,
signing out.
pause now.
Next
We
time,
okay.
So this is the Night King, am I right? Or Theon. The chapter.
Quick question:
That-
how is Bran and Arya magical, and how did they had magical things to do in their winning day?
Okay, both of them had magical powers.
They
Both
just
the
didn't use
Faceless
them.
Men and through the the man in the trees? What the fuck was that guy's name?
That guy.
Three-eyed Raven. Three-eyed Raven.
Yeah.
Well, Bran
They
does.
were both magical.
Bran uses his powers. He works those ravens, and to do something.
Yeah. What?
I don't know.
What? Like this guy says that Bran did something significant to affect the outcome of the battle. What did he do? He spied with some ravens, I guess.
Yes,
You're a good
he was
man.
talking about
You
Raven
watched-
with Raven
You
knowledge.
watch? Yeah, let's read the comments real quick because these are funny.
I can't. They're too small for me to read.
Zoom in.
How do I zoom?
Yeah, I'll do full screen on mine and I'll just read them out. Like I know, like he's ratioed like crazy. Like it's like 2 likes to 19 dislikes.
That's amazing.
Wait, how do you zoom on the watch together thing?
Oh, mine is just you just press Control Plus.
Oh. Oh.
Man, you are a genius. You almost made me think you were being serious here.
This
man.
vid is so full of so many tizzles it gave me an aneurysm.
Show the replies from him about Jim Nichols.
Okay, there's a
right there. Also, can't die.
What the fuck is it with people named Nichols?
Game of
Chips. Chips.
Bill Nichols, Joel Nichols. God damn it! Why are they all so stupid?
Let's go down a bit. There's someone who argues with him and he replies on him. Here.
Mm-hmm.
Sean Mack.
You're mostly wrong there. Kings and more important RPO had armor like that. But most armor was just a metal sheep, and sometimes those give way to penetration. The military was dodgy. As for the layering, the fabric that they wore to protect their skins when their armor did anything in terms of protection. Turbo machines can be fired howitzer / more sail if you create separation between your army and enemy force.
Sorry, say that again.
He's certainly a troll.
Is this video a joke?
Yes,
Yeah.
it is.
It is a joke. It is a
Not
troll.
a very good one, though.
Newsflash: the Lost Republican and the events surrounding and what to word British.
Battle of Winter Jib.
Battle with the trip.
Man, it seems like
Okay, so do any of you guys know about the YouTube channel Invicta?
No, I don't.
Do what?
Invicta with a C. He's got a set of videos critiquing the strategies of Season 8 and proposing improvements, very drastic improvements, in fact,
Where is
that you might want to check out.
Yeah.
I've heard the
Alrighty.
name.
Holy
I'm
shit,
looking,
almost
uh,
3 hours in already. Holy fuck.
I think
I'll put the link in the chat.
Yeah, let's
check out the
let's check out the debate with Shad, just to kind of cleanse our palates.
By the way, there's one thing that I wanted to mention. His reference Frodo's ring toss is inaccurate. Frodo doesn't toss the ring.
All right, let me pull it up when we stop this real quick. All right.
Do you mind if I leave you guys right now because it's like 0
Go for
o'clock
it.
here?
All right, I got it.
Go
for it.
Well, have a
See
nice
you, Johan.
yeah,
All
have a
right.
nice day all, and enjoy the chats.
Nighty night.
Nate.
Nighty night.
There we go. I got it. Done. Just do the thing.
Alrighty.
All right, here we go. We're gonna love this shit.
All right, you ready? All right.
Wolf, if we could all stay silent and allow these two gentlemen to talk about.
right.
Shad, you remember episode 3 of Game of Thrones season 8? Yes, the castle defense from the army of zombies. Do you remember this?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I do remember.
I would like Remarkable Republican. What do you think of the defense of the castle? I'll let you start, and then I will be silent.
I think that the defense that Danny and John mounted was fundamentally sound based on medieval realism. They deployed the catapults forward so they'd have the maximum distance to fire at the approaching enemy. They were assuming the enemy would arrive by day. They sent the cavalry to charge because the cavalry needed space and momentum to be effective. So their opening moves were solid. They also divided their defenders between outside the castle walls and inside, so that we're defending all parts at all times. I don't see how they could have done much better than what they did. They also had their dragons doing close air support and looking out for the other dragons. So I feel like they mounted a pretty competent and respectable defense.
Do you know what castles are meant to be? Also cavalry. When is it preferable to use cavalry in open warfare?
100% of the time.
No. Battle of Agincourt, massive French cavalry charge got absolutely wiped out by English archers. There are many situations. No, there are many situations when cavalry is a terrible idea, and the situation when they were used in Game of Thrones is most definitely one of them.
The dead didn't have archers though, so it's not Agincourt.
No. But see, the other situation, cavalry primarily is used for shock tactics, hopefully to try and break up a unit formation, and you want to get them to flee. If they don't flee and they storm the cavalry will be dead. And so after the first impact, if the infantry isn't breaking up, the cavalry needs to retreat. Otherwise, they're going to get mowed down. Now, with an army of the dead, do they retreat?
That I'm aware of.
No, the army of the dead don't retreat. And they were also outnumbered as well. The other time when you can use cavalry to just really mow down infantry is if you are outnumbering them in a large measure. You have a lot more cavalry, but even then, that's not a guaranteed thing. It always needs to be used with the right, reason and consideration and stuff like that. But in regards to the Game of Thrones situation, the cavalry was outnumbered and the undead won't retreat. And so sending them in is utter and complete suicide, especially looking at it from the historical lens of what cavalry is meant to do and when they're meant to be employed.
And Shad, are there different kinds of cavalry?
Fucking go, Shad.
Oh yeah, light cavalry, heavy cavalry, and stuff like that. And what's interesting about the Game of Thrones thing, technically the Dothraki are light cavalry, and so that is like to use light cavalry in a heavy frontal assault charge into infantry like that is just completely retarded because they're not unarmored. They're not wearing
cavalry.
Heavy.
What?
They are not like cavalry.
The Dothraki are more like shock cavalry.
Yes.
Be armored to survive.
If anything, but no, shock cavalry usually kind of implies like armor. It's not. It's not their armor that implies one or the other. It's the light cavalry is more of a harassment sort of thing, but the Dothraki is not a harassment army. They are a sub-armored heavy cavalry. It's a cavalry that should be wearing heavy armor, but doesn't because of whatever, world building or something. But no, they are not light cavalry.
They don't have lances, so there's no insta-kill on the direct hit impact. They are armed with like small sickles and stuff like that, which means they can't strike anyone in front of their horse. Okay, you can only strike people with these type of weapons on the sides of your horse, which means you can't remove or attack anyone in front of you, and so you're just presenting your horse to be killed in that way.
Don't you think you might be underestimating the skill of these guys? Who?
Yeah, but guess what? Everyone else is only using swords too.
So they are superhumans.
They were dominating in Essos.
Probably because they were being used in the right way, as light cavalry should be. Skirmishing, harrying around the edges and stuff like that. There was also a lot of mounted archers with the Dothraki, if I recall. And again, just like the Mongolians historically, light cavalry, you run around it. And like, if you look at history, there were actually some interesting engagements between the Mongolians and Eastern Europeans. You can kind of call them knights, but not. But anyway, armored, European, very medieval kind of combatants, and they got absolutely mowed down by the Mongolians because Mongolians were employing their light cavalry to just perfect, just in a perfect amount, and it was basically running around them, pinging them from a distance, not running into heavily armored units.
Correct.
I mean, the only weakness of the Mongols historically is if they'd ever run across real European knights. I mean, there's no way in hell they could have gone up toe to toe with like Richard the Lionheart or like.
Mongolians. Why are you talking about like
we're talking about mounted
critters?
Units. Whenever they engaged, they won. Like if you're looking at from the medieval technological standpoint.
Also, have you ever seen a picture of the Mongolian Empire and how far west?
Yeah, they went into Russia.
They were past Russia.
Way
They were
past
almost at Constantinople. I mean, they were pretty far west.
And they didn't conquer anywhere where they had true knights.
Dude,
though.
they
weren't in France or Germany.
It wasn't because of that.
No, you would call them true. Well, hang on. How do you define true knights? So you're talking about heavily armored cavalry because the Mongolians did defeat. The Mongolians did
because
defeat
the Russians
cavalry.
definitely had that
sword.
No. The Mongolians did defeat heavily armored cavalry.
Yes,
it's historical. It happened.
Were they knights?
Yeah.
How do you define knights?
You have to have the equipment, and you also have to have a code of chivalry.
Then yes.
How do you define the code of chivalry?
It's the code of chivalry. It's just like the code of conduct that they all follow. I mean, it's
no, they did not all follow that.
Well, I mean, do you think that every kingdom had the same code of chivalry for every?
Right, it was all principalities, my guy.
Why are you conflating? Why are you conflating like all of Europe as though it's the same?
Just wait, he's going to say something really
He's
dumb.
actually completely right here. Chivalry was a subjective thing interpreted by the knights, and its most accurate application is chivalry means the qualities that make a knight good at his job. And it started with pure horsemanship because chivalry
good
comes
at
from
his
the
job
word
and good in
chevalier,
society.
and you go back, it basically
let's
translates
not
to
fuck this
horseman
up.
originally. And so if you were good at horse riding, or technically combative horse riding, you were chivalrous in the original genesis of the word.
Yes,
and as
but
it evolved,
also
it simply
they didn't
expanded to mean
fuck
the
up
qualities
the
that made a knight good at his
principles
job.
of
And when you look,
feudalism.
I made a whole video on this, all right? Like, chivalry is one of my specialties. And when you go back and actually look at how chivalry was interpreted historically, there are there was never a codified, unified thing that everyone followed. And there were forms of chivalry that one person would call chivalrous and another group of people would think that's completely incorrect. And their version of chivalry would outrightly contradict something. Sorry about the kids in the background, by the way. Yeah. And so following chivalry, is a very essential part of what defines, a knight to be a knight, but not necessarily means
not
that
essential.
Be better at mounted combat than many other people of the medieval period. And the type, it doesn't make the type of mounted combat different from other heavily armored, mounted, warriors who were not knighted of the period. Okay, and so when you're looking at heavy cavalry of the medieval period, the fact that one group might be knighted and one group might not be won't change how effectively that you could employ them in combat.
Okay, so what his question was there heavily armored European quote-unquote knights, European mounted infantry that could stand against the Mongolian horde? Yes, there were. However, were they effective against them? No, because they were not interested in engaging with them. Not only were they potentially equal in hand-to-hand combat, but that's not what they were interested in doing. They rode around you, burned your crops and farms, and completely mitigated your ability to summon your bannermen to your side because they had no crops and farms. You had no ability to supply your armies.
Better, becoming better, but did they fight knights?
Yes.
But did they have a show called the Chivalry though?
Probably.
Oh, just wait. He's about to say something really dumb. It is so funny.
Similarly, like the skill of the Dothraki, for instance, won't change that little sickle into a lance.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's correct.
Yes, lances are better. They are closer to spear.
Yeah.
So you
back.
said that the
Wait, just let him go.
I mean, to circle back, something you said stuck with me. So you said that the code of chivalry was subjective. So will the knights like some sort of postmodernist or something? I mean, 'cause that doesn't.
What?
Oh, come on!
Well, can you get into his
University?
What?
What?
I gave you every opportunity.
Where's your connection there? I'm
You said it was
genuinely
subjective.
Let's pause it to let him go. Let's pause it. Let's pause it.
Why you gotta do this to me, my guy?
All right, what did he say that was really stupid?
He said what were everything like so the knights were like able to had the code of chivalry was subjective. What did that mean? That the knights were some kind of postmodernists?
Oh no. Yeah, subjective is probably not the right word.
Subject to interpretation is probably better.
Yeah.
It's
still freaking hilarious.
Yeah.
Well, that's still subjective, so you're wrong, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Code of conduct, like kind of.
No.
Oh,
no. The big problem that you have is that you're assuming that all of Europe is like the same and that they all believe the same things and all held the same code of conduct. Like Europe is not like America. It's a whole bunch of different countries.
Thank God.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. I mean, when you look at the actual books written of chivalry, like there's one written by Chrétien de Troyes, and then there's like again, I have the references in my video and stuff like that. They are trying to describe how they feel a knight should act, which is actually a direct kind of point of reference to show that not every knight was behaving the way that they felt they should. Otherwise, there was no point in them even writing their books in the first place. All right?
Correct.
And so, another one was by Raymond Lull. Okay.
Never heard of it.
So chivalry meant many different things depending on how the different areas, knights, and even lords felt what made a good knight. And if you did those if you perform those qualities that the individual lords or even the individual knights felt made a knight good at their job, they were then chivalrous by these individual definitions.
It also was.
I think I got you.
Part of the factor was how the
pause while we talk.
I didn't realize there were different codes of chivalry.
Part of the factor was in every code of chivalry, while that was inherently determined by the lords, part of what that always inherently seemed to mean was to not upset the serfs, not to upset the peasants, whatever you want to call them, was to not upset those individuals. So to act as though rape and like assault and pillaging and burning was inherently a part of the code of chivalry, or was not explicitly like discouraged by the code of chivalry, is kind of a thing that's like silly and only encouraged by people who like to think that feudalism was an inherently evil system. I think feudalism is a bad system, but it was not like a system that inherently encouraged the destruction of the people around them.
All right.
Well, only as much as like maybe like Adam Sandler fans find his movies a waste, are kind of wasting their time with his movies, but this is actually really funny. And it provides good talking points.
That's not really something that pops up.
Well, I mean, did you really think that like British knights had the same code as French knights, and
Yeah,
Hungarian knights, Bavarian knights.
Why would you think that though?
Yeah, that's a huge
the Norman
misconception.
invasion-
There was
Yeah, but
no
like-
unified code of chivalry that everyone was forced to adhere to.
I mean, it sounds like you think that there was like some rule book on society, like a society rule book that's like you do
Like
this,
like
this, this, and
laws.
this.
I mean, that's what I thought.
Like
was
special
going on.
night laws.
Nah.
So you're wrong on that one then, right?
Okay.
I guess I was. So,
All right, cool.
what was it that made someone like, say, a Richard the Lionheart or like some of the other really, really good knights? What was it that made them so good? What was their secret?
Generally, success.
I mean, what led to success?
What do you mean? Like, in
Like, why-
terms
why
of
were they- why
success
did they
in
win so
combat,
much?
like, one of the more
I guess they were
successful
good
knights
tacticians,
was William Marshall, and he gained huge fame from winning many tournaments, like jousts and all that stuff. But as to active service in large wars and stuff, he had some military service early on, but not to the scale of, say, Richard the Lionheart. And if you want to look at some of the things that certain kings who were lauded at being very noble and chivalrous, some of the things they actually did in warfare, by the romantic view of chivalry, they would seem like massive villains. Richard the Lionheart executed a few hundred prisoners or so because Saladin was stalling and didn't pay certain ransoms, and so because the ransom weren't paid, he executed them all. Might not seem very chivalrous. Knights, and especially kings, when it came to warfare, were actually far more pragmatists than they were, I shall not fight, on unfair grounds and stuff like that, They were warriors, first and foremost, and they did adhere to the things that they felt were chivalrous, and also generally their direct society. But kings, more so than anyone else, had the power to go against the grain and do whatever the hell they wanted, because
Correct.
many people are going to challenge them.
Did you know that?
Not to the degree that
In fact,
makes it sound like.
King Richard the Lionhearted was gay.
What?
Can we go back to Game of Thrones and how terrible episode 3 was? hey, Republican man, what did you think about the trebuchets being at the front of the lines? What do you think about that?
I think that gives you the maximum distance to bombard
No!
with you.
It doesn't matter the extra 100 feet.
How long does it take to reload a trebuchet?
A long time.
Can we just pause this for a second?
Yeah, pause and go
3
back.
minutes.
Pause and go back.
4 minutes.
I'm not an expert in physics, but I'm pretty sure that just moving them back a couple dozen feet and placing them on top of the walls would give you more or less the same result.
Placing a trebuchet on top of the wall takes a lot of work. Like, can you imagine moving
no, just have them there at the start of the battle.
Ton on top of a wall?
Just have them there at the start of the battle.
Yeah, well, right behind the wall would make more sense for a trebuchet because they obviously fling above it.
Yeah, definitely.
You will put a catapult on a wall.
Okay, put the catapult even further behind the trebuchet.
We're gonna.
There's no fucking reason to put a siege weapon in front of a wall.
Especially
Unless
not
you
when you're
intend to retreat from it immediately.
Especially not when you're planning to use it against mobile units.
Yes.
All right.
And so that's the best place to put them. Then ranks
How
out
long?
a bit.
How long does it take to reload a trebuchet?
Base junk, no.
I would
Even
estimate around
Minister trebuchets make no
30
sense.
seconds, somewhere around there.
30 seconds. And how long does it take to readjust where a trebuchet is being
Little
aimed at? Like in terms of the
Several
the
minutes.
range, because the range is determined by the counterweight, and so the weights that you put in the counterweight on the trebuchet.
But also, it doesn't
And
matter how
so
long it
if you are
takes
facing
to
an army
readjust
that's
it, because
charging you,
all that
and
matters
means
is your
their
ability
position-
to launch heavy objects into a mass of individuals. It doesn't matter how precise it is, just keep throwing bullshit into it. Readjusting it is not a factor. You're throwing heavy objects into a mass. Whether or not that's a relevant consideration as to a massive, like, continually charging hordes is irrelevant, because they're just going to keep charging. So they should already be behind, and they should already not have any consideration as to readjusting. You want to throw heavy, if you want to throw heavy objects into a horde, throw them as fast as you can. Readjusting is stupid. Just keep throwing heavy objects into them. You shouldn't be doing that in the first place, but if you're going to use them, don't bother readjusting.
Yep. Let's keep going.
Is in a constant state of flux because they are charging you. You're only going to get one shot of the trebuchet until you have to reconfigure the whole setup to try and figure out where the enemy is in already.
It's a gigantic fucking horde.
You do realize trebuchets were rarely ever used by a defending army historically. They were mostly
Correct.
always used by a besieging army, usually against fortifications, a castle. The main reason why? Castles don't move.
Correct.
Well, yeah, I mean, I know that they were mostly used to bust walls, but I guess they're pretty good at killing personnel, though.
In defense against an attacking army, rarely ever used. Okay,
correct.
And if you use them, well, one, you would most definitely want to put them behind a protective wall. Otherwise, they're just.
I guess
destroyed.
a good example would be the battle of Minas Tirith, where both the orcs were using trebuchets to try and break sort of the castle defenses.
Yeah, that's hopeful
against a giant army,
best.
but they didn't put the trebuchets in the field, because if you put them in the field, then it's like a couple minutes and then they're gone.
Yeah.
By the way,
that's potentially the best one because they have them on a swivel.
In the long night.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I have another whole video on catapults. That catapults were not employed nearly to the level that people assume in medieval combat. The trebuchet meme, it truly is the more superior siege weapon. And also, just to your point about putting the trebuchets out in front, how far out in front of the walls was it? Was it 50 meters?
I don't think it was very far.
Less than
I
50
think you
yards.
see the castle in the frame as well.
Yeah.
So if the dead are afraid of fire.
This is the thing. So that if you're putting the trebuchet, 50 meters in front of the castle walls, and the dead, how long would it take them to charge over 50 meters?
Probably
literally 1 to 2 seconds.
50 meters. Let's say 45 seconds.
I mean, that's pretty slow, man.
That's
very slow. Seconds.
That's very slow, yeah.
It was literally a tidal wave.
Have you ever seen a football player, American football, actually run a 40? It's 1 to 2 seconds. 2 seconds is embarrassing.
Yeah.
It must be like the Walking Dead zombies or something. That's what.
Aren't you guys so happy that I brought you guys on for this?
No,
Yes.
I'm annoyed. Why are you doing this to me? I could have been doing other things.
I couldn't.
Yeah.
I haven't even changed my profile from a fucking Christmas thing.
All right.
I think the time that it takes to reload a trebuchet.
Sorry, just one thing. The zombies are very fast. I want to clarify that.
Yeah,
Yes, they are very fast.
And with the length of time it takes to reload a trebuchet, and by the fact you would need to recalibrate it so it would be shooting at a shorter distance.
No, you would not need to recalibrate.
You wouldn't get an additional shot off by moving it forward by 50 meters. The few seconds that you're
don't move
gaining
it forward.
won't do a thing.
Just throw
you'll still
another
get the same
shot.
amount of shots from the trebuchet, whether it's in front forward like that or behind the walls.
I mean,
don't use siege weapons on a fucking advancing army that's running it
in the
20 miles an hour.
I keep referencing fantasy battles, but in the Battle of Helm's Deep, they didn't put anything in front of the wall because the wall, they were going to reach the wall eventually. So anybody that you put there is dead.
Because they were advancing like a traditional army. This is not a traditional army.
Well, that's just your opinion.
Precisely. So, are you leading me to believe that if it could stand there, they would have put it there?
I mean, possibly.
You think they would have, though? Like, you really think that?
I mean, I don't know what the rules of the Lord of the Rings universe are.
What do you mean the rules?
Doesn't matter.
They want to kill him. Like,
I mean, I don't know if the guy who wrote it. I mean, I don't know if Tolkien was quite as versed in medieval things as George R. R. Martin is.
Oh,
you?
What?
It wasn't George's decision to put the trebuchets forward like that. It was the showrunner. Because George is pretty well versed in medieval stuff. He would put the trebuchets out in front of an army like that.
Do you guys actually believe that the showrunners just like totally did what they wanted and ignored
Yes. We have plenty of reason to think that.
They don't give a shit. They've already made their money.
What do you think? It's so funny with hindsight. Like, holy shit. Yes.
Yeah, they did do exactly what they wanted.
A little too much, I would say.
This is so funny. This is so
Gonna happen to them. You think season 8 is the first time they deviated from the books? It's not.
I've never read the books, but I mean, this is the first
Did you know that the show is ahead of the books right now?
Yeah.
So they've definitely deviated from the books then, because the books don't exist.
But I imagine they still have an outline to work from, and they're probably following it because
they threw that outline out the fucking window.
You sweet summer
Yeah,
child.
they figured that out really quick.
Hang on.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, sorry. Your argument was how would they get away with it?
Huh?
I just said, "Oh, you sweet summer child."
Yeah. Especially with reports about dragon demands, finding out that maybe Daenerys burning the city for no reason was actually something that just came up at the last second. So I'm really questioning everything that happened in these last 2 seasons.
Yeah, it's certain. And
we already know from Dragon Demands that David Benioff makes random decisions in the middle of the night and puts that in the script. And we also know that in the script, the burning of King's Landing is done through wildfire that is activated during the battle, not by Dany going lawnmower fire mode.
She didn't even go lawnmower. She just fired randomly.
Did a remarkable Republican just say he didn't actually know that much about medieval history or something like that?
He's thinking that Tolkien didn't know as much about medieval history as maybe George R. R. Martin does.
Well, that's kind of dubious.
They haven't got away with what they did do. Like, they haven't.
Everybody's really pissed
Everybody's
off.
really annoyed.
Yeah, like season 8 is gonna go down in the annals of history as some of the worst
possibly the
television.
worst media that ever fucking got shat onto our TV screens.
I mean, if you guys think that's the worst thing that's ever happened, I have to wonder if you guys have ever seen things like the Funky Phantom. And
in reference to how it
I've never seen
started,
the
it is
Funky
the worst.
Phantom.
Yes,
it is among the worst. It is certainly in terms of relevance and significance and its popularity. It is definitely up there.
The perspective, right? Because it's the final season of a show that was widely regarded to be of very high quality, and yet it's so amateurishly written. Like, I mean, you've already conceded the cavalry point. I'm not sure why you're still arguing about the trebuchets, and that if the Battle of Helm's Deep was happening, that they would put the trebuchets in front of the wall.
Well, just from the things that we mentioned, you would concede that putting the trebuchets forward like that is just retarded. Like, it was never done historically, and the fact that they did in the show was just stupid.
I love you, Shad.
But do we know with 100% certainty that trebuchets work the same way in Game of Thrones?
Oh my god!
How are they working differently?
They have
fantasy but they're showing us a trebuchet. The assumption is
you got dragons, but like gravity works the same way in Game of Thrones.
It was a counterweight trebuchet. They showed it as a counterweight trebuchet with no deviation from the historical versions.
Mm-hmm.
R2, the point that one of the big issues here is that you want to protect your siege equipment, for as long as you can, so that they have enough time to continuously fire at the enemy.
It's not how it works, it's what it does, and it showed it, I assume, I've not seen it, it showed it doing the same thing that a trebuchet does. That's how everyone knows it's a trebuchet.
And even in the show...
If we look at the assumptions we've made, I mean, obviously the dead, they just make attacks, they don't defend. They have no castle, so you can use your trebuchets. You can sacrifice.
Even is this
what good are they gonna do?
Or you could keep them behind the walls and use them multiple times. I mean, even in the show, they only get one shot off before the dead overrun them, don't they?
Correct.
I mean, in any battle, that would be considered a complete... Imagine you had an M1 Abrams and it got blown up after firing one shot. It's like, well, shit, that's like $20 million down the drain.
Yes.
And, I looked this up real quick. Maybe you can confirm. Someone asked, what is the rate of fire of a typical medieval counterweight trebuchet? This gentleman says...
I would say it's probably like 3 rounds a minute.
Time of 4 minutes and 20 seconds.
Holy fuck!
Got right. So, there's a one play. Now, video games can help us contextualize this a bit better. But 4 minutes and 20 seconds is an eternity.
420.
In a battle,
every second counts.
Yeah, with a charging enemy, with the length of time it took for the dead to close the distance, and it's funny because out of all the mistakes they made in that show, the fact that the trebuchets only got one shot off before the dead closed the distance does sound to be one of the only accurate things, which just goes to emphasize the point even more.
Yeah, so why did they even use them to begin with?
Put them behind
Dig
the bloody
more
walls
trenches.
Actually,
Shad, it is funny.
Shad, what about the putting your men outside of the castle walls?
Well, even that is stupid as well. Like,
yeah.
The amount of like in my review.
Okay, so can you guys pause this?
Yeah, I
So
honestly feel
the
like
whole putting it outside the walls is pretty much the only thing that I will defend about the battle strategy.
Because it's not a traditional army.
Yeah, because part of it
they're
is
actually going to go into that.
They can't just coop up in the castle because the dead might just walk past.
Correct.
And just leave them there. So they need to draw
now
the
it's
army
equally
into
stupid because they could have just walked around if they wanted to. But the idea of like presenting a porcupine or a tortoise in front of the castle is potentially intelligent. However, the dead could have just ran around it. So either way, they were fucked. So this is stupid, like, strategy.
Inside the castle, there should be filled up with, those men armed
and they have
with
tons of
ideally,
space. Their
they had
walls are
tons
blank.
of space in there. It was. I was shocked at how much space was inside the castle after the dead actually got inside. I couldn't believe it. They should have loaded up that castle shoulder to shoulder with their soldiers, obsidian tipped arrows, even fires, whatever, as many as they could. And then if they couldn't fit everyone in after they loaded it up as much as possible, you wouldn't position your military in front of the castle. You would put it to the flanks, the sides of the castle, and get them. So you would get the army of the dead to hit the castle.
Right, guys, I gotta head out. Enjoy the rest of this.
All right,
Okay.
you
bye.
All right, you
See
fucking
you
simp.
later.
Get out of here, simp.
I'm not a simp. That would imply that she's mediocre.
Eat my butt, simp.
Get out of here, you fucking simp. Get out of here.
Anything that my dude.
Can we go to simpleton as being short for simpleton rather than the acronym?
On that subject, I also need to head out.
Okay.
Yeah, all right.
Alrighty.
All right.
We'll
Bye.
We still got
See you
enough.
then.
However,
Bye-bye.
I am potentially not a simp.
Damn.
We've only got 5 minutes left of the
Okay,
shit, so let's
okay,
keep
get
going.
out of here,
Let's keep
redneck.
going.
All right. See y'all.
Okay,
See ya.
And then you would close in with the infantry on the sides and flank them in that end. And then if they start to actually focus on the infantry instead of the castle, you'll get the infantry to retreat, move around the castle, get the dead to follow them, while the defenders on the walls of the castle just ping them off. Okay, and that's how you would work it. And so the dead, that would either force the army of the dead to split their forces to focus on the infantry in the castle at the same time, or they would commit all their forces to attacking the castle or the infantry. And if they're doing that, when the Army of the Dead is attacking the castle, you get the infantry to smack them. And then if the Army of the Dead is attacking the infantry, you get the castle to smack them.
You know,
I do have one problem
like,
with that.
Like cavalry could come in handy in a situation like that once or twice.
Oh, absolutely. Because as soon as you have, the Army of the Dead engage with something, okay, you then bring in the heavy cavalry to do a massive shock impact on their flanks, okay, because those are the positions in which they're not ready to receive an attack on, and the cavalry would be employed to a much better degree. But with the Dothraki, because they're light cavalry, you don't send light cavalry into the ranks of your enemy, okay? You use them to harry the enemy. Because they got swords, you run up on the sides, slash, and then withdraw, and then run in again, okay? You don't charge in unless they're dedicated heavy cavalry.
There's one problem with the scenario you're painting, though, and that's that they don't have enough provisions to maintain everybody within the fort. So if they all get in the walls, then they're just going to be starved out.
How many provisions do they have?
Did the Army of the Dead wait to starve them out?
Oh, but they could. The Night King could just be like, "Oh, these guys fucked up. They're cut off." They didn't.
Also, where are you drawing information that they didn't? But also, where's your information that they didn't have enough provisions for the army?
You just moved a massive number of men to a single point in a short period of time.
Don't you think they would only do that if they had the supplies to do it, though? Doesn't that make more sense?
Well, no, here's the bigger fundamental problem. Like, they obviously have enough food for everybody there because they're all there. Like, what are you suggesting? That when you put them outside, they don't have to eat and drink? Like, that's just...
Another problem that I want to note with this is that him acting
why does that change if they're outside the walls?
Like he's using this, they got no provisions argument.
So you're telling me why wouldn't they just leave then?
Can we pause this shit?
But they can...
Pause, please. Yeah, pause, please.
Yeah. Okay, so he's trying to argue that, well, you can't do that kind of battle because you don't have the provisions. Well, the battle wouldn't really be extended. It wouldn't necessarily be extended if you pulled this strategy. It definitely wouldn't be extended over several days.
Also, another fundamental problem is the fact that this is, like he's saying, like what Shad is saying, this guy, like, they don't eat just because they're outside the walls.
Yeah, Fringy is totally right here.
Well, yeah, maybe that's how it works.
Yeah,
well, maybe they're a bunch of fire whites, so
I think didn't you say earlier that, like, oh, you can just sacrifice your trebuchets? And didn't you say that earlier, or is he yet to say that?
He did say
Maybe it means you can eat your trebuchets.
Oh yeah, it's wood, organic.
Stop them from leaving the castle.
So a couple of things, okay? If the Army of the Dead didn't attack, that would have worked in their favor because they got 2 dragons that they can just go in, destroy them, and hopefully draw out their dragon, and then draw them back to the castle and take out the dragon. But the fact, I was annoyed that the dragons weren't used nearly to the level that they could have been, because they were massively effective. And, you could say, but the Night King and his lances and stuff like that is like, yeah, that's very convenient to the plot. He's only good at it when he needs to be and stuff like that.
But
it's not necessarily the win move for the Army of the Dead. So wait, there wasn't really much indication in the show to say that they would wait. But having said that, waiting is still a good strategy. That's what the whole point of a siege is to starve them out. But it almost seems like the Army of the Dead wouldn't have been doing that. They were marching forward. They wanted to penetrate deeper into Westeros, and to do that, they needed to get past Winterfell.
No,
I didn't see much indication that they had that level of patience.
They could have just gone around.
Well, yeah, because if the idea is that they could go around Winterfell, then why even battle them there? Just go around.
I mean, that would be an idea, draw them out of their fort.
But surely it's not an idea to go around because they had to go through.
because they're written that
see,
way.
when you have a castle, if you have
That's
the
always the
supply,
reason for
and there
everything.
seems to be plenty of indication that they did,
Huh.
waiting actually it goes in your favor because it gives you time to
Game of
rally more
Thrones-
defenses.
Game of Thrones lawman here. They want to kill Bran. That's their main goal. Bran is hidden inside the castle. They're assaulting the castle to kill Bran.
Oh,
they
so
want
they're
Bran.
not going to wait him out then?
No, they're not going to wait
They're
whatsoever. They're going to
Hmm.
assault as soon as possible.
Well, there you go.
I mean, do we know for a fact that their main goal was Bran? I mean, because we know
Yes,
that was.
yes, we do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
How do
I
you see
100% know
Bran,
this.
while the Night King waits to execute himself. That was their only goal. They didn't care about anything else. They were going to kill everything in their way.
Why did they just not attack the garden directly then?
Exactly. You're just highlighting even more issues with this show.
Yeah, the gods would
Yeah,
actually
why
be
didn't
behind
the Night
inside
King
the-
nuke Bran with Viserion?
Oh my god, I keep saying that. You see, the Night King never listened to me. It seems like I've always had the best plans. He just didn't want to admit it. He was too prideful. It could have been over. He could have been on the Iron Throne, and we could have had a better ending, funny enough.
Well,
Yeah, that would have been a better ending.
Oh yeah, unironically, so to speak.
Yep.
He to do was have the dragon do a
and you know
suicide
what?
run.
I actually have another whole video on how Winterfell should look according to the books. There you go. Another
Also, they-
deviation as well from the shows and the books. The Godswood should be
All I'm
inside
looking
the walls
for,
of Winterfell.
R2, is that you'd agree that it's not very well written, episode 3 of season 8 of Game of Thrones. What do you think?
I thought it was pretty well written.
But
Has Shadowverse changed your mind whatsoever?
I mean, he showed me that there are differences between real medieval war and Game of Thrones.
Can you tell me why those wouldn't have...
The video's over.
Was that amazing?
That was pretty amazing, yeah.
My
Oh,
brain is like,
that's it.
whoa. Huh?
That's it. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, our brains are gone, but that's all right.
Well, we will split this in half. We will do part 1 and part 2, just so we can kind of play the algorithm a little bit, so we don't have as much long form content. But yeah.
Speaking of that, I still can't find the Hobbit movies discussion as of
I need to
streaming list.
I will re-upload that Thursday. I'll re-upload that. I did some editing so we can kind of like separate the Remarkable Republican bit. And
yeah, I've seen the Remarkable Republican part of it.
Yeah. I was just waiting for the right time to re-upload it, since like I don't want to
by the way,
bombard people with 2 streams in one day.
Are we doing more of this guy?
Oh yes, he's a meme.
Yes, we're gonna do his Battle of King's Landing, and we're gonna do his character arcs.
Wait.
And
Didn't he do episode 4?
And he didn't. He skipped over episode 4 for some reason.
Okay, well, so I don't have to watch another one die. So that's great.
Yeah. But also, I want to do his Joker one and his Aquaman one, because apparently Aquaman is the conservative masterpiece. He's film of our generation.
Oh, so Aquaman is Trump or something?
No, well, actually, yeah. He unironically makes that claim that Aquaman is Trump in terms of he's a warrior that fights his way to victory.
No comment. No comment. Except that I was wondering, because he was talking about the Night King. He was showing this, like, I was like, who's that?
Trump thumbs up. Yeah, Trump thumbs
Night
up.
King, or
Yeah.
is that meant to be Theon?
I don't know.
Because he was talking about the Night King and Theon, and like, what?
Yeah, well, I know, like, he says, like, Joker went nuts because of his bisexualism. That's the one thing that I do remember from that 11-minute video. It was very amusing.
So apparently he's like that's School of Movies, except not quite so charming.
Yeah, he's School of Movies except American.
Except
and
American,
right-wing.
not the charm.
Yeah.
No
Yeah, where does Maggie Mae Fish fit into that?
Maggie Mae Fish is basically in her own realm of crazy. And I'm excited on Thursday to cover her with White Dragon. Aren't you so happy?
Oh, what are you covering?
Her the one where she talks about Obi-Wan and Anakin. Obi-Wan cucking Anakin.
All right, I want to be on that.
Oh boy, that's gonna be great. That's unironically.
This is our London observance, is it?
Oh, by the way, if you ever have time, check out those videos in my polls section. Tell me if those are any good. If you want to check those out anytime.
Sure.
Especially with the redhead one. God damn. Fucking hell. I fucking choked up a bit.
You don't want to join this.
I do want to join this.
No, I'm saying fighting expert. You don't want to join this. You're gonna go nuts.
It's not your typical anti-prequel stuff. It's so insane. I only watched a minute of it.
Yeah,
I want to join it anyway.
Yeah, let's have Andraste join because, like, I think it would be amusing to say the least. Yeah. Well, anyway, that's going to be fun. She also has one about how Lord of the Rings is gay.
Yes, you've told me about this.
How classic of the Lord of the Rings, anti-Lord of the Rings peoples.
Yeah, well, she actually likes it. She gets two ladies to identify as queer. One's non-binary, the other one's a lesbian or pansexual, I think. And she's like, "We love this because there's so much gay subtext."
Talking about reading too much into shit.
Yeah, I mean, I think Tolkien would be a bit surprised.
What the fuck?
It's kind of like a Doug Walker being all Sam and Frodo's gayness.
Oh yeah, that's so old. That was old decades ago.
Yeah, it's a really weird video. It's not as bad as her other videos because Maggie barely talks, and Maggie's kind of the primary crazy person where she talks about Fight Club and porn in the same sentence and makes comparisons between them.
Words spoken.
Yeah, unironically, yeah. But anyway, we will call it good for today. Thank you all for coming. Bye.